Hello, everybody. Welcome in. How is everybody doing today? It is Saturday, and that means we are here back for qualifying round number 2 this weekend for our Race Asylum North America 1 Make Group 3 BRZ series. The season starts on December 2nd, and we are here for round number 2 of qualifying. So if we remember from last weekend, we've seen a couple handfuls of drivers, a little less, go and kick it off and get those laps started down and get that qualifying underway to kick things off for qualifying session 1. So we have the majority of our registered drivers left to do our qualifying run here in weekend number 2. So we're going to see a lot of action on the racetrack. Whenever you're ready, Ray. Whenever you're ready, dear. We've got lots to go through. It's going to take a while. All right, so again, presented by Race Asylum here, and it is being ran by Apex Sim Racing Team here as well in the North America side of things. So I'll be the host for the season as far as your commentator goes. GT45 Gaming will be bringing all that live action to you all season long. And again, that does start on December 2nd. So it's a 10-week series, so we'll have great BRZ action for 10 straight weeks every Saturday afternoon leading up into the New Year. So it should be a great series. Should be a lot of fun. All right, so it looks like that the drivers are just out warming up a little bit here. Got lots of different cars on track here. I feel like some of these cars out on track here are just out here for some fun, thinking that we got a lobby night rocket rolling here. That is not the case. This is an official qualifying lobby, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're not a part of the Racing Asylum North American BRZ series in the lobby currently, well, go get registered and get back on track of the right car, and we'll let you continue on. So I'm not going to flip the screen. We'll wait until we have the proper guys and gals running around the racetrack here. But that's good stuff. I love it. All right, so as you can see on the screen in front of you here, it is Suzuka. This is going to be our qualifying track. It is a 4 hot lap session, so it's an out lap plus 4 hot laps. They're going to take the best 2 combined out of those 4 laps for the official qualifying time for these drivers. So we've seen some pretty fast laps around here. Lucas 36 being our leading driver here coming into qualifying day number 2. And he put down some good times on the racetrack. Going to be very hard to see if anybody can beat him, but I'm sure there's definitely going to be drivers out there up to the challenge. So just everybody sit tight. If you're watching the stream, it's going to be one driver at a time. And the host of the lobby, which in this case, which is Ray, will instruct each driver when to go. Just give her a moment here. Just give her a moment. Everything is just settling in here. So we appreciate Ray for coming in tonight. It's super late there in the United Kingdom. She's hosting our lobby here tonight. So just let her, give her a couple minutes to get the rhythm and the routine flowing here. All right, so she's starting to get things underway here now. Poop down. What's up, man? How's it going, brother? Well, all we can do is wait and see. You know, drivers crack under the pressure of qualifying quite a bit, so it's going to be interesting to see. We've seen a little bit of it, I think, last week, just because I know some of the drivers. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time it is there. It is evening where I'm at, but appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. All right, we're just keeping an eye on the streams here. Let me know if there's any issues with the video quality or audio quality here. We had to make some changes due to YouTube making some changes on the platform, so I'm not sure how the stream's going to handle that. This is the first time we're running the stream on the new settings, so just keep me informed, keep me posted. Once we get to the actual stream video, that'll tell a better story for everybody, but we'll get there soon enough when we start qualifying our first driver here officially. So the drivers need to take screenshots of their times while they're on track. So after they run their out lap and 4 hot laps, it is required that they take a screenshot of those times and send those in to one of the administrators at the Racing Asylum in the Discord server there, and that is to just double verify from what we're seeing to what they're seeing is accurate. We do get live timing glitches in the lobbies. So what you're going to see here is once we start qualifying, nobody's allowed on track. Nobody's even allowed in pit lane. It's one driver at a time, and you will see one car in pit lane. That car will typically be the host car or the commentator's car. In my case tonight, it's going to be my car sitting in pit lane, and that is for exactly that reason, that live timing glitch that we do see in the game. And what happens then is I can just flip to my car sitting in pit lane, and I go back to the car that's qualifying on track and get an accurate time. It's just a weird little quirk in the game we got to work with as broadcasters and league organizers. So that is why we will see one car in the pit lane, but that car will be typically the host car or the commentator's car because it'll never leave pit lane. So just a little bit of what we're going to see happening here throughout qualifying today. So just got a couple guys out on track here. Once these drivers remove themselves from the racetrack, and we'll get things underway here. But I hope everybody's having a good weekend. It is Remembrance Day, so I hope that we've all, and Veterans Day in the United States of America as well. So I hope that we've all taken our time to pay our respects today for all our current serving servicemen and women all over the world. We do appreciate everything you're doing for us, no matter how big or small your role may be. And we're thinking of you all the time. We're sending good vibes and just hoping that you get home to see your family safe and sound. For those of us that have families that have lost loved ones in the past, again, we thank you. The sacrifices did not come for nothing. I know me and my community appreciate everything that is always being done currently and has been done in the past, so that we can do exactly things like this, put on some racing action for everybody here tonight. So with that being said, let's keep that in mind tonight. Let's keep that a theme tonight here. Let's have these drivers go out on track of qualifying here, and some of them may be out there with us with a bigger purpose tonight because of the situation. So it's going to be interesting to see how qualifying goes down, but it is an important day. It's a very important day here, and should be an important day in every country across the world, because no matter what the situation or no matter what causes the conflict that we're involved in, there's still people out there that have to go and fight that conflict, and that's why we can't forget. That's why we can never forget, because innocent people, average Joes just like yourself and myself, went out there and put their lives on the line to protect our ways of life. So we have to remember that always. We can never forget that. And that's why we've got these important days for these things. So it looks like you're gonna have to kick him, darling. He ain't. Could be a VR driver too. Hey, how's it going, Alien? How you doing, brother? How's Alien 420 up in the house here? Up in the house. Video sounds fine. Awesome, thank you. Appreciate you, Steve. All right, so we're just getting things sorted out here. We'll be underway shortly. We will need a double reset on the lobby once you get the right people in the right places too, Hosty. That's what you get for being in the wrong car. Just saying. How's it going, Widow? How you doing, darling? Guys having a rough go at getting in pit lane there. All right, so we got some BRZs minus a BMW in the house here. I'll just stick it here. So it's going to be Johnny to go first. We got to find him. All right. That BMW's got to go. There we go. All right, guys. Here we go. All right, so our first official qualifier here is now on track and underway. So the settings are on equal conditions mode here. So all the drivers are dealing with the exact same qualifying conditions. They are the wind and optimal, essentially, racing car conditions. So the tires, however, with that being said, still do start off cold. You have to build the air pressure up in those tires in order to get the grip levels you're looking for. So it's going to be what we suggest. And this is just an outlap, so the spin is no big concern. You still got half a lap to get the dirt off the tires, but getting the heat in the tires is important. So the outlap typically is what we see for that. And in this case, to allow for a quick little mistake, get that out of the way. So now you can just sit here and navigate, right? So this is about halfway point around the racetrack. We're at the hairpin here now, and we're getting spicy meatball. This car is spicy meatball. This car is. We're having a tough start here to the outlap. Now there's no damage, so the car is not damaged, so it doesn't have to worry about that. Is this open? It's for registered drivers only, Widow. It's still open for registration, yes, but this qualifying session is for registered drivers only tonight. All right, so here we go with Johnny. Johnny C. Rough start to the outlap here. So hopefully by the time he gets around 130R on a spoon curve here, he's got a little bit of grip back underneath those tires. And then by the time he gets through that Casio triangle, the final chicane in turn number 12, 14? I can't remember what turn number it is right off the top of my head here. At the end of the Casio triangle there to hit the start finish line. You know, that's really important here now. So we're just coming through 130R. We're heading into the Casio triangle right now, and this is where it all counts. You need to set the corner up right, get a good exit here, set up that first hot lap. Still keeping in mind your tires aren't optimum yet. You need to kind of take it a little bit easy, make sure you're not missing your marks. Then once you get that first lap through, you get that safety lap, that banked lap, then you can start to feel the grip underneath the car. Then you can kind of start to get into your rhythm and start to send it around the racetrack. So it always needs to be controlled when you're in qualifying. It's not always just about straight sending it right off the bat with the hidden secret of the fact that we have cold tires in Gran Turismo 7 for roughly about a lap and a half to 2 laps, depending on the racetrack, of course. You're not going to get your best time on your first lap, typically. All right, so we're hopefully going to see that 207 come off the board here from one of our racing qualifiers today. That'd be fantastic. We know there's a fast group of drivers registered here. Just give me one moment, Widow. I gotta go track it down. But yes, I do have a link to get to the Discord, for sure. All right, so we're coming through the hairpin here right now. This is the first official timed lap, so this lap will count as potentially one of the 4 laps that this driver has in qualifying. And just give me uno momento. Put that one there. That one there. There we go. All right, Discord is in both the YouTube channels here, depending on which YouTube channel it is you're viewing on. That is where you will find further information on how to get involved with this North American Group 3 BRZ1 Make series. From there, there's a registration link. Go in and register, and then from there you can come and do some qualifying. So this is our major qualifying day here today, but of course, as people register later into towards the racing season, of course, we'll have to set up some special qualifying times for said drivers, but that'll be, of course, for our racing officials to sort out in behind the scenes as that all progresses. But yep, that is how you find Race Asylum, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so what was that first lap there? It was a 204.517. Yeah, we're just going to go back. Yes. Okay. All right. So that's a good lap, actually, right there by Johnny. Very, very quick lap. That's going to be setting a benchmark here, actually, very early on in qualifying today as he comes out here. So really going to be looking for three really nice, solid laps to building off of that. So now the tires should be built up with enough air pressure. Nice, tidy, clean lap that first out lap, that first hot lap, pardon me, as well as he comes through Degner 2 here. And now the car should feel good. So he should be able to start finding that time that he's probably been finding in practice, most likely. There is another one besides Sim Dashboard. I just can't remember what it's called, but there's a couple of different ones out there that give you that information. As a matter of fact, I don't remember what the other app is that I've seen out there that's being used is called, but if you go look through the Discord, I'm pretty sure it was actually posted in there at some point in the server. Oh, I'm trying to pin the comment from my software. That's not going to work. It's not going to work. There we go. How's it going, Josh? Hope you're doing great. All right, there's the mark, Josh. 204s. Go get them. So 204.527 and 204.517, those are that's some consistency right there. That is a hundredth of a second separating those two laps. So this is about obviously where the driver's comfortable pace is what that tells me right off the bat. That's what this tells me. So is there more in the tank? Most likely. Is he going to get it? We're about to find out. So he's got two laps now. He's got two really well banked laps there, in my opinion. Now he has the choice of whether or not he wants to really commit and send it. We do have a 400s up purple sector through the snake as we head into Dunlop curve here. So looking good so far here on lap number 3. It does, but they don't, for some reason, and I don't understand why, they don't allow us to see the information. So the third-party apps say that your tires, no matter what your situation is, will start off at cool temperatures, and you have to build the air pressure up. At daily races, that's why you see a lot of drivers struggling on lap number 1, making their turn-ins and getting grip and crashing into other people because they don't realize that their tires are cold. You have to take that lap and a half to build your air pressure up before you can really get into your pace. That's just and that's a big part, and that's a big problem right now because they don't give us that information freely. We have to use these third-party apps to get that information, which clearly means that the information is coded within the game. If a third-party app can get that information, it's only hurting the state of the competition part of the game, right? So I mean, a simple little I'm not sure if it's simple or not, but I mean, in reality, a simple fix of allowing us to know these things right within our tires as we look at them on the screen really can make a big difference all of a sudden when it comes to online competitive racing, these multiplayer lobbies, right? I think, there's a lot of things that the average racer doesn't consider when they get onto the racetrack. It's plug and play to them and they just go, right? They think they got full grip. They think they're good to go. They think they can run massive fast lap times on a full tank of fuel. Like, they just don't understand, right? So the game shouldn't hide things like that, in my opinion. At a 204.173 there, so a nice improvement there. Absolutely nice improvement there from Johnny C. And that's now going to be his best lap here so far in qualifying. And now he still has one more to go. So this is his final attempt around Suzuka here. And now we're looking at 204.1 being his fastest and a 204.517 being his combined total. But he still has room to improve on this yet. And he is up 0.3 of a second as he comes through Snake into Dunlop here. So he's looking really, really good. So, yeah, I mean, I don't, I can only speculate. I don't know the answers. I'm not a developer for Polyphony Digital and all the entities involved with Gran Turismo 7. I can only speculate based off the information available to us like everybody else at the same time as well, right? So, but obviously if a third-party app can calculate that and give us that information, then obviously it's available and the game calculates it. It's just for some reason they don't let us see the information. What that reason is, we don't know. Maybe they have a good reason for it, but Yeah, it would be nice if we could just see that information freely because I think it would really make a big difference in the online play. I really do. I really do. Just a personal opinion, but that was a nice exit coming out of Spoon Curve there. He just really flowed through that corner. He really seems to understand how to drive this car clearly. Lap times are showing that as well. These are very fast lap times. We only see one driver hit 203s, and that was last weekend, and that was Lucas 36. But boy, Johnny's really trying to push one here. Let's see if he gets it. He's coming up to the Casio triangle here right now. He needs to nail this sector. He needs to really abuse the track here. And I think he could have got more out of that there. A little bit of a slide coming under power there. Oh, he's going to get tucked in, but he makes it through. He makes it through. Should be a good time here. And it's a 204 flat, 204.065. So he didn't quite get it there. Just those couple tiny little bobbles in that final sector. Just costing him a little bit there. But a 204.065 here from Johnny C. And that's a good qualifying run to start the day off right there. That is actually going to be quite tough to beat, I think, here as the drivers continue to go around. So that was a great qualifying run right there from TLR's Johnny C. Oh, there's Jakey. What's up, my dude? How you doing, brother? Luke is very quick. He is very, very quick. He takes a lot of pride in being that fast. He works hard to be that fast and that consistent, too. So I think Johnny's unaware that his laps are done here, or maybe he's just going around, but that's just typically a sign of a driver who knows there's more time in there. He wants to just keep finding it, right? There's definitely more time in there, but it's only 4 laps, so lap 5 is his last official counted lap here. Yeah, yeah. All right, you got to qualify still, too, don't you? That's right. Luke is slow. I don't think so. All right, so just to take a little peek here at what the drivers are up against here, this is the track, of course, that these drivers are tackling here. So we'll get a little more in depth with the track here as we go in between drivers, getting ready for each set of qualifying runs. Just let me bring up my bigger version on my computer so I can read the information a little bit simpler myself because I'm looking at a pretty small screen. Where is Suzuki? You're so close. You're so close to a 34. So that tune's found a little extra time, then has it. I figured it probably would. All right, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. So it's again a 3.6-mile racetrack, and it looks like Hooligan's going to be our next driver out to go here. So let's get on Hooli. There he is. All right, so it's a 3.6-mile racetrack, 5.81 kilometers, has 20 left and right-hand turns. It's a tarmac road surface. It's a real-world circuit, obviously. They run everything here. It's a great racetrack. Has the elevation change of 131 feet from its highest point to its lowest point. A very tricky racetrack here, and I mean, there really isn't a simple answer to Suzuka. It's a flow. And if you get the flow just a little bit wrong, well, it pays on time on the racetrack. So we'll get back to that here in just a little bit. We got our next qualifier out on track here, so let's jump on board with TCR Hooligan here now as he starts his qualifying run. So the first lap is just a wash lap. It's just a warm-up lap. Get as much heat in those tires as you can. Work on a couple corners maybe you might have been struggling with before you come into your qualifying run. You know, is just trying to work out the finer details in your lap. Basically, qualifying is all about the hot laps. It's all about pushing your maximum comfort zones and getting the absolute best time you can, but you got to do it without crashing. So there's a very fine line when it comes to qualifying, and sometimes that pressure cracks the driver, and we've seen many cases of it over the years. And there we go. It's just another example of it, right? The driver's pushing hard here. He's trying to build that air pressure up, and he just makes that little mistake into Degner 1. Still okay, though. It's just an out lap. He's got lots of time left in the lap to get those tires scrubbed off, get a little more pressure built up, and then again, just needs to be aware leading into the first lap. You know, the early parts of that lap, the car might not quite react as expected yet. He's still got to continue building that pressure up to optimal temperature. Now, with that being said, you can overheat your tires, so big slides, big spins, stuff like that could also hurt your car and create your car to lose a little bit of time in the lap as well. So it really is about flow, keeping a nice stable race car, really keeping your inputs as smooth as possible here, because every little mistake costs a tenth. It costs a tenth here, plain and simple. You're okay, Ray. You're a Russian. You're doing fantastic. You're doing fantastic. No stress, darling. No stress. All right, we're just keeping our eyes on everything all across the board here. All right, so apparently the computer can handle 6800 kps for video bit right now, so that's fantastic. Good to know. So far, so good. We're not getting yelled at by YouTube anymore. All right, so official lap underway. So a 205.727 out lap. Not a bad out lap. So let's see what he's got for pace here. TCR Who going to get another good driver. Should expect to see some pretty good pace. Oh, and he just catches that edge. So now this is a squash lap. This is a practice lap at this point. Oh, you hate to see it. Turns 1 and 2. You have to really maximize the corner to maximize your time into the snake there. He just caught that track edge. Again, those tires aren't quite fully warmed up yet. And it showed there. He tried to save that thing. He did everything he could to save that car, but it just it went around on him. But that's all right. He's still got 3 more laps here. So now he needs to really just focus on having a clean lap here. He doesn't want to overheat the tires now. I mean, he had a big slide there. So definitely created some heat in the tires, which is a good thing. The car's going to feel maybe a little bit good now, but you don't want to push it too hard here. This is again a wash lap at this point. Get on your rhythm, hit your braking points, make sure you got that sorted out, and set the Casio triangle up for that second lap. That's what's important here. Got to just keep your head in the game. And again, qualifying, pressure and qualifying. I'm telling you, we've seen the first 2 drivers crash, but we've also seen the first 2 drivers put down some really great times. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. When you're on the edge, you tend to crash. That's just the way it goes. That's a part of the learning curve. It is a part of the learning curve, and I only say that from honest experience. So coming into Spoon, really, it's maintaining speed through Spoon curve is so important. Really keeping the car in the power range all the way through both apexes. You don't want to let the car lose its power range. The moment that car loses its power range heading up into the long straight into 130R, you're going to lose time in that long straight. You want to come out with that maximum power range ready to go in this car when you plant it coming out of the second part of Spoon curve. Sets up 130R, and of course this final exit in through the Casio triangle. So missed that first apex a little bit, didn't eat a whole lot of that second apex. These drivers are leaving a ton of time on the table in that Casio triangle right now, leaving a ton of time. He left 3/10 to half a second through that sector right there at 209.690. So again, he did have an incident. He did have a little mistake in that lap, so that's not going to be indicative of the driver's pace here. Took it a little more carefully that time around, made sure he clipped that apex curb just right, and that was a great exit coming out of turn 1 and 2 here. So now we're heading into the snake. Very, very flowing sector. You want to keep the car stable here. You want to keep just clipping the curbs on the apex and just keep it nice and tight, rotating around so you can get on power early, coming out on the exit, use the exit curb, swing it over, and the big run up. Just a little lift before you really slap the power down. If you try to go through there full throttle, chances are you're going to see that grass on the left side, and that's going to ruin your lap. That's exactly what we've seen here out of Hooley there. You just seen that tiny little lift before the full exit of Dunlop, heading into Dunlop there, and of course then jamming on that throttle, knowing when the car is going to be just right. And there we go, we're up on the purple lap here, so settling into his pace now. And again, I know who this driver is. I'm familiar of this driver, so we should expect to see some good laps here. We should expect to see some good laps here. And a very Subaru styled livery here too as well. That's a very, very classic queued up livery here on this BRZ today. So looking good out there, the number 81 car here, Hooligan. And we're about to see a potential fastest lap here to see how well he got through Spoon curve there. And there we go, half a second purple. So we're going to see a 2:03.7 or better potentially here. He just needs to really nail down the Casio triangle here. He got a great run through 130R, really maximized that corner there. He came out with a great momentum. And it could be a good time. We're going to see that purple lap change here as he comes down and around. He's going to eat the short way through. Smart driver, and there it is, 2:03.220, and potentially busting Lucas's lap. I'll have to get Ray to confirm that, but I believe Lucas's fastest lap was a 2:67. So I do believe Hooligan now holds the honor of the fastest lap at qualifying here for this BRZ series right now, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It is very close. It is very close. But a 2:03.220, that was a great lap here by TCR's Hooligan. He's still got 2 to go, chat. Still got 2 more laps left to go. So not surprised, not disappointed at all by this driver. Exactly what I expected to see here. A little bit of a wobble coming out of Degner 2 there, heading into the hairpin, but I don't think that should affect the time too much. Good, tight, clean hairpin there. Patient on the throttle. You can see he had maximum grip underneath those rear tires there. There was 0 wheel spin there. That's how you do it. Wheel spin is time lost. So this driver clearly understands that, and it potentially constituting here for another really great lap time here as we're heading through Spoon Curve, heading into the second part of Spoon Curve here. It's kind of like just a really elongated double hairpin turn. A very good lap, Alien 420. Very good lap, absolutely. All right, so as we head into 130R here for our third official lap, he's down a couple tenths here, but that still leaves him in another 2:03 time lap here. So 2:03 seems to be the kind of the time that the fast guys are really shooting for or better. So he is right there with him in this car. And that's going to be a 2:03.566. We're just going to confirm that. That is exactly what we're seeing. All right, so final crack at it here. Does he send it now? Is he absolutely just going to throw caution to the wind here and just throw one? Or is he just going to be trying to look to improve on that 2:03.2? I guess we're about to find out here as we head through the snake. We're getting ready to come into the Dunlop curve here. Still got 2 more corners before we're into Dunlop here. So this one's the important one. This one sets up Dunlop curve. You really need to get the flow right, get the car stabilized before you crank it hard up the hill here to the left. And of course, the highest point of the racetrack being right there going up into the Dunlop curve. And then the track starts to come back downhill from there as well. So leading into Degner 1 and Degner 2, you're actually coming downhill there in the braking zone slightly. And then heading into the hairpin, it kind of starts to flatten out. And then we start to head back uphill and towards Spoon Curve again. Little bit of wheel spin there, just a tiny little bit of wheel spin there. I can see it in his RPM gauge, but a very, very minimal amount there. So very good control on the car here as well, coming from our number 81 BRZ driver here. And again, potentially pushing the fastest qualifier here right now on track without verification, but it's very, very close, that's for sure. Actually, I can verify it because I have the screenshots. Yeah, Ray is definitely the one that I had to talk to Widow for about the sign up process for 100%, darling. All right, so what you got? Oh, it's a doozy. Oh boy, is that what we're seeing? Because he just lit one up right there. 2:01.661. That's a doozy of a lap right there, boy. Let me tell you what. Wow, that's a good lap. That's a good lap. That is a great lap. I thought he was going to see a 2:02 there, but the 2:01.6, that's a good lap. So, snap. Hooligan in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I'm going to go verify right now while we throw it back over to the other side here. That was a great time. That was a great lap. I'm actually going to go verify because I've got all the screenshots from all the qualified drivers here currently right now, so you guys will hear all that happening. But I'm going to go take a quick peek. So let's get to that point here. Where's our boy? There he is. All right, Lucas was sub 2 minute here. Right. Now I'm getting reacquainted. All right. So it's the 58s here that is our fastest lap. So I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I had 2:03 in my head for some reason. But there we go. All right, reacquainted with that fastest lap times. And it's the 58s, actually, that Lucas 36 was into. So, yeah, quick laps. Very quick laps. My apologies, chat. My apologies. You have a head stream. Do we not have? There we go. And then it just cut out. What's going on? I have not been paying attention. Just give me a second, stream. Let me sort you out for a second. Alright, so we're just trying to get the game sound into this. There we go. Oh, what was going on there? That was some great laps right there by Hooligan. So we got On the Way out now doing his qualifying, or her qualifying run, I guess. Their qualifying run. Let's be a little more neutral here. And I don't know anything about this driver at all, so we're not familiar, don't recognize the name, so it'll be a surprise to see what kind of pace this driver has here, but it's got a very good looking Subaru livery going on there right now, that's for sure. The sun hits it just right, changes that Subaru logo in the translucent paint in the door, looks pretty good. Alright, so our third qualifier of the day. So far, the honors belong to TCR Hooligan, so 201.661. So starting to see those laps get close to that 2 minute range. So I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for the early wrong information. It's going to be 158s that are going to be the laps to beat here in the track. So, a new driver for you too. Fantastic. Love to see it. That's what we love to see. That's what it's all about. Bringing in those new faces, new competition. Love to see it. Building the community, one racer at a time. Looks very clean, looks very stable around the racetrack. I mean, we're not seeing a lot of unsettled movement from the car. We're not seeing a lot of sliding from the car. We're not seeing a lot of side-to-side jerking of the wheel or controller. If I had to guess, this is a wheel driver. It's very crisp, very, very crisp so far. Alright, so this is an important setup here through the Casio Triangle, and you know, we're not seeing these drivers use those curbs. I'm really... Maybe it unsettles this BRZ. I actually haven't taken it around the track to try a run or two for myself yet, so I couldn't honestly tell you. But that's a 201.171 outlap, and that is by far the fastest outlap we've seen on track so far tonight. That demolishes the other two outlaps by about 3.5-4 seconds, so could be sub 2 minute driver here. Just be patient, Widow. Just take it. Just breathe, darling. Just breathe. I know it's hard when you're not used to the process. I get it. I get it. Just go on the Discord. You get somebody to help walk you through it. Oh, makes a mistake coming out in Degner too, and we see that part of the track really calls out a lot of drivers. It catches you out. It's easy to make the mistake there. Sometimes the mistake is made because you didn't quite get a good exit out of Degner 1. You get a little bit squirrely. That changes the way that you come into Degner 2. Sometimes that messes you up too, but he just went a little hot through Degner 2 there. And it just got a little bit on the outside edge of the corner. So that's definitely going to cost him in time here on the first lap, but it's only the 1 of 4. He's still got lots of time to throw down. Let's see what he comes up with here, though, even with that mistake. Some of you know how it is, right, with technology, and some people just have a hard time. It seems straightforward, but people, it's confusing. It's just a lot to take in. That's all. I go through SimGrid with ACZ series that I commentate with too as well. So it's a bit of a complicating process, but once you're familiar with the process, then you kind of feel dumb after you've done it a couple times, because you realize how simple it really was, right? But it's just something new, and it stresses people out. That's all. Alright, so the first lap was a 204.925. Still a pretty good lap with a mistake there. Completely went off track in Degner 2 there. So potentially sub 2 minute laps coming from this driver for sure. Yeah. That's all. Gran Turismo players are not used to having to do a sign up through a league site either, right? So it's something a little unfamiliar in the Gran Turismo world, surprisingly enough, especially to North America. We don't have too many leagues running here in North America that have those types of signups. Oh, for sure, 100%, right, 100%. Yeah, and I mean that's still something that they're sorting out too. ATB, keep that in mind, right? They haven't had the problem of having 30 plus drivers in one race trying to get into one race, right? So this is a new issue for them over there as well too, right? So give them a week or two to settle into a routine there, and it'll get better. You know, of course I've always offered my suggestions, but they're on it. It'll only get better and better. You know, with crazy growth comes a lot of new complications you don't foresee, and it's really tough to overcome those complications when you're coming down to crunch time when you've never had to deal with it before, right? We forget that, so just remember that too. And SimGrid is a little bit complicating. I do agree, ATB. I find it to be a little bit complicating. I know, right? You just want to race. I get it, but yeah, just gotta stay patient. Somebody always knows how to get through the process, so just always gotta ask. All right, so we're coming around here on hot lap number 2. We haven't seen any offs here. Looked like a good clean lap, so could be a safe lap. Let's see what he's got as he comes around here. It's going to be a 203 low, so it's 203.1 there as On the Way comes through. I still honestly think this driver has way more in it there. So again, could just be banking a safe lap there. Could be banking a safe lap there. Oh yeah, you definitely need that footage. There you go, Jakey's got you, Widow. Jakey's got you. Check your DMs, darling. Alright, so we're coming through the snake here right now. And we're getting ready to head up into the Dunlop curve here. So we're almost 3/10 up on that 203. So we're into 202s here. Yeah, I think this driver's, I don't know. Maybe I was just, I seen that 201 outlap and figured there's easily another second there, probably from the outlap, but that could just be me. Could be banking a couple safe laps and just throw down a blazer. We've seen that. Now we're a second up as we get through the Degners here, heading into the hairpin. So now we're heading into the 201 range here. So the driver definitely has some pace, without a question of it. Gets a good exit actually coming out of the hairpin there. Alright, so we're heading into Spoon Curve here. You can see momentum being carried by the drivers here. You know, they're really not trying to let that speedometer drop too many miles per hour through the corners. Or you can see him burping the throttle a little bit just to keep that power band up a little bit here when he could too as well. It's important if you're looking for pace, because you do need to keep the car at a constant around the apex to really maximize your exit. And we're seeing him do that a little bit there, so he's starting to feel comfortable behind the wheel of the car is what that tells me. And coming here on our third official lap now out of 4, again, nobody really abusing those curbs, so it tells me that the car doesn't like them. We haven't seen one of the drivers yet really abusing the curbs coming out of the Casio triangle there. What do we got there? 202.2. So about 9/10 of a second improvement there on the lap, but we do know that there's more in the tank there, as he was over a second up at one point in the racetrack there. So could potentially see a 201 come out of the driver here. Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Right, right. All right, sounds good, looks clean. So far looks good coming through Snake here. It's probably hard for some of the drivers to adjust. This is obviously a Suzuka at Super Formula with the Super Formula cars here right now on Daily Race C and this week in the game too as well. So I'm sure lots of these drivers have been chomping the bit, so to speak, on the racetrack on that one, because it is quite a fun race actually. So you got to get back down into these Group 3 cars and dumb your driving down a little bit to readjust to the downforce as well a little bit. So a little bit of a miscue there coming out of the hairpin again. Let that power band. So when I say you got to coast to maintain a speed through a corner, there's obviously a speed you want to try and maintain through a corner, and this is something I'm starting to learn now as a driver, as opposed to a gear per se. Now I'm kind of looking for a speed. I don't want to let my speed go below this point there, and that's actually what happened into the hairpin there. That BRZ just dipped down a little bit below that optimal speed, and that actually threw the back end of the car out a little bit because it lost that power range, so to speak. So a little burp at the throttle there would have been all it would have taken there just to avoid that little hiccup, and that hiccup's going to cost him time. So as he comes through the timer here, he's still a quarter second up, but if it wasn't for that little blip right there, he'd probably be half a second or further up, to be honest. So a little bit of a miscue there in the hairpin by the driver, and again, that's what happens when you let your coasting speed dip a little bit too low, and especially in certain cars. So that was an unfortunate little error there, but it's going to be a 203.291, so it's going to be a 202.234, and it's going to be a 203.108. We better get that screenshot before he jumps off track there, because it looks like he's going to balance real quick. But pretty good laps there, nice consistent laps once he settled into the race there. So again, a good idea to look at the driver, the pace of the driver. So we're going to have a really tight group of drivers in that 202, 203 range here, I think, this season, and that's going to provide for some pretty good racing for a 10-week championship series, in my opinion. So great job on Zoe. Who we got next? It's going to be King Kazma coming out next, my bad, as that's the only driver sitting on the grid here at the moment. So I'm doomed. Nah, you're not doomed. You're not doomed. No one's doomed. It's just an adventure, you know? It's always an adventure. Life's an adventure. That's the best way to put it. It's just an adventure. Never know what we're going to get from one day to the next, but it always makes life interesting. Yeah, I kind of assume so, ATB. There's a reason why I'm not seeing drivers taking the curves in this car. I mean, obviously that's the optimal line through the Casio triangle, is really to eat up as much of the curves as you can, because it just shortens the corner. But, well, out lap, 3-second penalties, all good. Don't need to stress about it. Chicken abuse. Is that what it came up as on the CC? That's funny. It's definitely not chicken abuse. It's not abusing the track limit abuse. I mean, come on, drivers, you know. Like I said, there could be something to it. I don't know. I haven't ran any laps in the BRZ around this particular track combination for this qualifier. Normally, I like to run a little bit just to see what the drivers are up against, but I just haven't had the time to do so. I've been working hard in real life. I've had a hard time finding energy or strength in my right leg right now to race because of back problems. So we're just taking it easy and trying to get that leg healed up. Might be a potential controller driver here. The reactions of the car, or just driving on a really high feedback or sensitivity setting potentially, but a little bit of side-to-side movement in the car here. Maybe just trying to get the tires warmed up. Not, again, another driver I'm personally not familiar with, so I can't even speculate what we're going to see out of this driver, but the big mistake coming out of Spoon Curve there. He's going to talk to Barrier for a second, get a cool shot from the cameraman there standing at the edge of the wall, and continue along his way here. So, and it's actually a cameraman standing there, so look at that. Even better. Makes it more viable. And he's going to continue on, so 3-second penalty here. Now he's got to really kind of get his head straightened out here. He needs to just immediately lock in. He's right at 130R. That means the end of the lap is here. Again, the important thing is going to be this exit through the Casio triangle. The setup of the lap is key here. It's just the out lap. It means nothing to have those incidents, the penalty, whatever. Who cares? This is where it counts. Official hot lap starting as soon as we cross the checkered line here. And that is right now. So there we go. Official qualifying underway. Alright, so let's see what kind of pace we got. Sciatica is just bugging me right now, Ray. I'm old. No, I broke my back when I was 20 years old in a car accident. I was a pedestrian, got hit by a car, and been kind of dealing with that ever since, but it's hit and miss. I've just been working really hard, doing lots of really aggressive labor, and it's getting cold out, so all of those things are just combining to be a sciatic flare-up right now, and it's frustrating. It's just frustrating. It's exhausting. It takes a lot out of you to fight the pain and the limping and the not having full use of your back. It's just exhausting. Sciatica? Yeah. My right side hip is feels like it's on fire all the time. Oh, it's crazy. Not fun. Yeah. I know that there's certain stretches you can do to help it out. I do those, and some days it relieves it, some days it doesn't seem to matter. But we got a 3-day weekend here, so hopefully we can get a little bit of R&R, and hey, it can start to feel a little better again. That's right, 3-day weekend. That means content on Monday, chat. Content. Early stream on Monday. Alright, so as we're coming up to the line, we are looking pretty good here. I think we're going to be pushing right around a 203, maybe a 202 time here. Good pace coming through 130R here, so we didn't see a purple come up there, but we're not going to till he records a lap here. So it is there. It looked pretty good there. It was about the right time coming through that last live timing sector, and there it is. It's a 203.3. As I suspected, it was going to be a low 203 or better. So good banking lap to start with here, and now we're going to get into lap number 2. So now it comes down to each driver preference. The tires are up to temperature. You're going to feel the grip setting into the car. As soon as you head into turn 1 and 2, you realize, oh hey, I got grip, let's go. And then now the drivers can start to push. So we should start seeing improvement lap by lap here, as long as the drivers can, of course, not make that little mistake or miss a mark of some sort. But now it comes down to the individual behind the wheel of the racing car here at this point. Right now, half a second up almost, so down into the 202s currently as we head into the Dunlop curve for the second time here in qualifying now, second official time anyways. Oh, and a big mistake coming out of Degner too right there, and you hate to see it. And on lap 2 here, huge smoke show. That's not going to be good for those rear tires, unfortunately, for that BRZ. He's got about a half a lap here to, well, ideally now you're going to want to cool those tires down, so he's not going to want to really push here. He's just going to want to take it easy and get into that Casio triangle and get reset up for lap number 3 at this point. He's going to want to let those tires calm down a little bit. That was a big spin. That was a lot of smoke coming off the tires to get going again. He's definitely got some heat built up in there, so he's going to actually kind of want to let him cool down a little bit here. And that's just, you know, just don't push. You just don't push. Just leave him kind of have a nice roll around the racetrack. Don't force him right now, and just let him kind of build down to a nominal temperature here. Again, the setup for the final sector is key here now. You can see it cost him about 7 seconds at that oopsies. But it happens to the best of us. And so far, we haven't seen a clean qualifying run yet. And that is the pressure of qualifying. It does it. Alright, it's coming out of turn 20 here, heading to the start-finish line. Let's get it going. It's going to be a 2:10. That lap is not going to be one of the better laps. I highly doubt that that is going to be one recorded there. I think we're going to see an improvement there. Alright, so heading back into turn 1 and 2 here. Not using all the track, they're really actually costing himself some exit speed there. You really do need to flirt with the edge of that racetrack coming out of turn 1 in between turn 1 and 2. You got to kind of clip that curve, man. It just gives you the better angle heading into the snake sector. So a little gun shy perhaps with the mistake in Degner 2, but I guess we'll see. Right now, 0.6 of a second up on that 2:03.3. That's the 2:02.6 currently on the racetrack. 7, pardon me. As we're flowing around here, so now we're leading into Degner 1 and 2 again here, and he's been struggling in this sector. This is a sector that has really been tough on this driver here in this qualifying run. He got through really cleanly that time, and then there you go, purple. So looking at a 2:01.5 currently here right now, coming out of sector 2, heading in towards live timing number 3. A little bit of a wiggle under acceleration coming out of the hairpin there. It's going to cost a small amount of time. And let's see what happens when he comes out of spoon curve and starts making that run up to 130R here. He does a great job at managing a lid shot a little bit deeper than he was anticipating there heading into the first part of spoon curve there, but he did a good job at managing it with a little bit of coasting there, and got that car back onto the track surface and hit his mark for that second part of spoon curve. So he got a good exit out of there. So 1.15 seconds. So definitely in that 2:01 range, just a hair off that fastest lap currently recorded here right now, about 2:01.7, 2:01.8 lap here. So it's all going to come down to this Casio triangle here now. And there we go. Now we got a driver eating some curb here. That's what we're talking about. He gained time there on every driver so far through that sector, guaranteed. There it is, 2:01.998, so he breaks the 2:01 threshold there, and I think there's more in this, so there's definitely more in him. So let's see if he can put it together here this lap. That's what he's probably looking for, and let's see if he can get that down just a little bit lower here now as he heads through on his final official qualifying lap here. Well, start doing jumping jacks, Jakey. Warm that body up, my dude. Bendy. That's a good choice of words. Bendy. Alright, so we're heading through Dunlop here now, and into the Degners. And has a good line coming through this time, taking lots of risk on this lap. It looks like he is, as he comes through the timing sector. Where are we at? There we go, up about a 10th purple here. Now, it was the start of this sector here that cost him, I think, last time on that lap, as he got a little wiggle on the exit here, and he seemed to have got that down much better that time, coming out of the hairpin. So I think this could be a good lap here. Again, spoon curve really going to make a big difference here, though. That run through 130R. Too tired for that. I don't know what to tell you, Jake. I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Yeah, it's tough. I know, Jake. I get it, man. It just takes it all out of you, bro. I get it. I get it. I do. There's 2 nights this week I was going to stream, and I just didn't because I was just so wore out from work. So we're still purple. It's a 100th. A 100th and a half. Not much, but definitely an improvement on the current best lap he's got here in qualifying, and potentially the new fastest lap. So it is that close here between Chasma and Hooligan here right now for that fastest lap currently in qualifying as he comes out of turn 20. Let's see what he's got. It's a 2:01.769. Very, very close. 1.08 seconds. 0.108 seconds off the fastest time here. So very, very close to the TCR driver of Hooligan there. That was some great laps right there from Kazma. Great job, Kazma. Very, very well done, my dude. Alright, so back to our loop here. A very consistent driver as well. Yeah, those long weeks, man. I feel it. I've had 2 of them in a row. I'm definitely hurting a little bit. I'm feeling it. That's for sure. I've got all the screenshots as well, Ray, so far with every driver that's qualified. If you need another look for any discrepancies throughout the setting up of the grids for the beginning of the season. All right. We've got Apex Sim Racing's Bo Snipe coming out next year on track, so I should expect to see a potential push at a sub 2-minute lap here coming from that driver. And we got Fox out on track here. Is it Fox going? Oh, that's the nickname. Never mind. I got it. All right, so we know Bow Snipe quite well. Obviously, Bow Snipe is an active competing member of the GT45 gaming community over here, as well as what we do over here. So we know this driver quite well. We know he's a very, very quick, efficient race car driver, and I suspect that we should see some decent lap times come out of him. All right, and again, he's a smart driver. So he came out, he was sat in the pits just for a few seconds, realized that's just going to cool the tires down even more. He came back out of pit lane, brought it back out with a little less cooler tires, and he's going to go and get her done. So let's bring you back over to the big screen here, and let's get some action happening here from Apex Sim Racing's Bo Snipe. Get that audio moving back for you. There you go. All right, so Bo Snipe could potentially be the first driver to bust a 2-minute lap here tonight in qualifying. Whether or not he is able to do that is yet to be determined, but definitely has a potential to do so. I know this driver quite well. He's very quick. He's a very efficient driver. He understands racing. He understands the momentum and the motion of a race car, and I do suspect that he's going to do quite well here tonight. She hates curbs. Yeah, I thought so, really. He's a great driver. We race in our A Godzilla Gambit League. Yeah. Don't like the curbs. Car doesn't run over him. Bounces over him. Okay, I gotcha. I gotcha. Risk versus reward with the curbs and the Casio triangle. That's what the seems like the generalization is coming from the racing community here so far. So that's perfect. He'll smash it. Yeah, he'll do well. He'll do well. All right, rocking and rolling. We're not getting any warnings on the stream here tonight, so that's fantastic news. That's what we love to see. And he's not leaving anything on the racetrack here in this outlap. I mean, he's already set to get around this racetrack. That's the fastest speed we've seen come through 130R out of all the drivers here so far by about 6 miles per hour. So there it is, a 1:57.333 outlap. Sub 2-minute pace out of this driver already. I guess the bigger question here now is, can Bo Snipe put the pressure on Lucas 36's time there in the 58? So Again, we went and re-verified with those fastest lap times the last weekend, where it was a 58.5 and a 58.3, if I'm not mistaken. I already forgot, and I just looked at it like an hour ago, but that's all right. I have it. I can go look at it again. And you can see there, no prisoners coming around Degner 1. I mean, this is full send. This is full send coming from Bow Snipe right now. There was no prisoners as he came through Degner 1, and you see it right there, right in front of us, almost a full second up on the purple lap on the track here. So that's a 2-minute .6 currently here coming from Bow Snipe on this first lap, and he's still on semi-cold tires. So we should potentially see sub 2 here. Jay's got a lobby up right now, ATB. I don't know if you've qualified yet or not, though, but I think Jay's got a lobby up right now because Jay's running too. Which means Widow's probably in there as well. They'll help you out, man. Just jump into friends chat with them. Jake's probably warming up too right now. He might even be able to help, I guess, because Jake's getting ready to qualify here tonight too. Alright, so Bow Snipe coming around here, so this is going to be the first recorded time here as he comes around. And as he comes into the Casio Triangle here now, it does look pretty good here. And the camera crew is like giving us that suspense, and it's going to be a 159.957 there, so just breaking that 2-minute barrier. So lap number 1 from Bow Snipe is a 59.957, and that is now the new current fastest lap in qualifying session number 2 here over the past couple weekends. And suspected we should see some 2-minute laps there, so... Oh, you did last weekend? I couldn't remember. I apologize, ATB. Alright, so Bow Snipe here, and as he comes up in through the Dunlop, heading into the Degners, let's see if he has that same thing. He does. He's just going to send it around Degner 1 there. Really is a line of commitment. Could ask that the drivers don't send messages while drivers are qualifying, potentially, please. That would be fantastic. Let's try not to throw any visual distractions out there while guys are qualifying. That'd be beautiful. Hey, good job, guys. Quit chatting. Just nice and smooth, and I mean that's what makes these racers fast. These A+, these high A drivers out there with those ratings like that, you know, that's what makes them so quick. It's that smoothness in and out of corners, you know, maintaining what we've been saying all day here so far, that car stability and not letting the body roll get out of hand. Those things cause tire slippage, you know, and really just being committed to the corners. I mean, these faster drivers, that's all it is. It's just confidence on driving on the edge, and that's something that myself and other drivers that are slower than these guys are always chasing, right? But that's what it's all about. It's about building confidence on the edge of the race. So a 59.642 there as he improves 0.3 of a second over his first lap there. So slowly but surely just nibbling away at the time here. Oh, the flu shot? Yeah, I know. Those things are harsh. Those things are rough, man. That's alright, just take it easy, chill, relax, spend the time with the fam jam, you know. Have we just chill night, you know? You still gotta go through the process, Jay. Are you going to? Well, if you qualify him, Ray, we'll make sure he goes through the process, yes. Alright, so again, another good exit of the hairpin, and he picked up speed quite a bit faster than the other cars that have been out here so far today. So again, on a good lap here as we head up in towards Spoon Curve. I can't remember, I think this is just called the back straight. Of course he did. Typical Jakey. Agreed. Agreed. Jay may need some assistance with that process as well, Ray. Alright, what you got here? It's a good lap. It's an improvement, though. It's a 59.753, so very consistent laps. All those laps grouped within 0.3 of a second of each other, so now we're sitting at a 59.6 and a 59.7 for his two best laps out of the four. And we're on our final official hot lap here for both snipes, so let's see if he decides just to try and send it here and get a blazer in. Oh, you guys are so bad. You think the high 58s, low 59s? Yeah. Oh, no, that's a good call, Steve. Oh, you're all good, Hooley. You're all good, bro. You don't have to be sorry, bro. We just get excited. It's all good. You're good, my dude. You're good, my dude. She is doing a great job. Ray always does a great job. Sure thing, Jake, with the rolling eyes. There's so much love. There's always so much love. That's what makes this community so great. Alright, so here we go, coming out of Spoon Curve for the final time here in qualifying for Apex Sim Racing's Bo Snipe, and he's got a pretty good run coming out of there. Let's see what that relates to at this last timing sector here. And it is going to be... He's up. He's about a little over a tenth up on his fastest lap here so far, so officially be putting him right around that mid 59 mark if he can hit that there as he comes through the Casio triangle. And I can we've seen a little bounce come from the car over the first curb there in the Casio, so I understand where the drivers are talking about there now, as some of the drivers are starting to use that line a little bit, and it's going to be a 59.284 there for Bo Snipe. So there we go, a good improvement on that final lap there as he really took the short line coming out of the final corner, which is obviously going to give you a shorter run to the start finish line, so smart decision there by Bo Snipe. And it's going to relate to a 59.284 and a 59.642 being those two official recorded times there from Bo Snipe, as long as, of course, my information matches his information. Again, drivers, if you're watching and you're listening to the stream, make sure you're taking those screenshots of your results. It is required by Racing Asylum to have those screenshots submitted to Ray so she can verify that her times match your times. It's just a double verification process to make sure that nothing gets done improperly. Sure thing, chicken wing. Well, that's the beautiful thing about just chilling at home, ATV. You don't have to. You can. It doesn't matter if you're out of it. At least you're safe. You know, that's the important thing. So, all right. That was a great job by Bo Snipe there, 59.2. That's going to seat him up in the top 3 or 4, I think, here in qualifying so far overall. I haven't seen the official list of times yet, so I can't quite, off the top of my head, to call it, but definitely top 3, 4 for sure. All right, Batman's coming. I mean, Jakey's coming. Oh, yeah, right, PRL race tomorrow night, that's right. You're okay, Hooley. You're okay, Hooley. You're okay, bro. Hooley, you are a legend, dude. You know, I know that you're a big fan of Grove Street. I know you're a big fan of Tidgeny as well, dude. You're a legend, bro. You know, it's all good, my guy. It's all good, my guy. Don't stress yourself, my man. Don't stress yourself. It's all good, baby. It's all good. All right, so here we go. Apex Sim Racing's Jakey out on track here, one of our administrators here in the series this season. So let's see what he's got here for the drivers. He could challenge that 59.2 by Bo Snipe there. His teammate just ran just one session before this. So let's see what Jake's got in response here. Jake always says that he has bad times, and then he just absolutely produces. So let's see what he's got. Let's see what he's got. Oh, he's already way out there, darling. Oh, big slide, big slide. Gathers it up there, so that was a great job there by Jakey. A little bit of extra heat in the rear tires there for free, I guess, in a sense. Coming into the hairpin. This is just the outlap, so this lap is the time to make those mistakes. I mean, in all honesty, if you're going to make the mistake, the outlap's the time to do it. Just get it out of the way, shake it out of the system, and then get ready for 4 good laps there. So the mistakes definitely are best to always be done in that outlap, without a question of a doubt. It's where they hurt you the least. All right, just settling into the racetrack here. We're settling in nice, good flow through Spoon. Heading up into 130R here. And we're just going to compare the speed times coming through certain sectors. Of course, I'm keeping my eye on those timing sector times as well. And it's just right there with those speeds like Bo. So, all right, thanks, ATB. It's because I'm shutting it off in between the screen flips. All right, a little bit of a mistake made there by Jakey. Coming under braking into the Casio, just missed the brake point just a little bit there. Backed up, just try to set that corner up better. So ultimately, F. Ultimately, that's going to probably cost a flying lap here on lap 1. But again, the tires aren't 100% heated up here yet either. So get a good quality lap in here, get that feel, get that flow maybe in a spot that you're struggling with a little bit, and then send it. So we know Jakey's going to send it. So there's never questioning whether or not he's going to send it. A little bit of curb slide right there. You can see that back tire just got on that curb coming through the snake there. That just unsettled that race car a little bit. So clearly the car does not like the curbing here at Suzuka. That's starting to be shown here as drivers continue to qualify here today. Gets a good run through 2. With Degner's 1 and 2 there, gets a decent exit coming out of Degner 2 there as well, utilizing all that track. He's purple right now as he comes through into the hairpin. Almost a 10th.5 here on his teammate Bo. Coming out of the hairpin here. This is a tricky corner. You really want to minimize that wheel spin to really get the good launch uphill, because again, you're driving back uphill towards Spoon. So you get up to that crest and then it's right back downhill. It flattens out here for Spoon curve, and it makes this curve a little bit interesting. There's not a lot of undulation into the corner. There's not a whole lot of elevation change into the corner, but coming out of the corner, it gets a little bit different. You got a little undulation, a little bit of off camber heading out of the second part Spoon curve. Jakey is all over Spoon curve right there. That was a spicy lap coming from Jakey right there. So you can see he's just trying to get those tires cleaned off as he heads up to 130R. This is definitely going to kill the lap here a little bit, but yeah, you still got 3 more. You only need to have the 2 best ones, right? That's the mentality of some of these drivers. He hates this car. I'm not a fan of it either, myself personally. I mean, you know, I'm not going to lie, but just because we don't like it doesn't mean we're not going to race it. All right, so 212. That's 202. There's the timing glitch I was talking about. 202.324. That's definitely not going to be the best time we're going to see out of Jakey unless he continues to crash, which is always possible with Jakey, but no, he'll lock it in. He just had optimal temperatures in those tires here now, and he should be moving and grooving pretty nicely, I would think. So heading in through the snake here right now, and looking pretty good. Just clipping those curves. Don't want to eat too much of the curbing. That's obviously been showing here, as the curbs have some banking here at Suzuka, and he's almost half a tenth purple there actually. So he's looking to put a statement on this now. Looking to put in a statement here on qualifying now. That was a great sector through the snake there, and coming through Degner 2 again, another solid exit there, using all the racetrack that's available to him. He's almost 3/4 of a second up here now on that 59.2. So now he's putting pressure on Lucas' time here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tom hates everything when it comes to the race cars, but always drives fast. That's just the way it is. Alright, so coming into Spoon, coming out of Spoon, the charge to 130R here now is important. So as we're heading out of Spoon Curve here, we're heading up 130R right now, towards 130R, pardon me. And coming through that penalty line, coming through the live timing sector, it's going to be 1.1 second purple here now. So that is going to be a great lap time if you can manage to carry it through the Casio Triangle here. Again, a little bit wide on the first part there. Might have cost him a little bit of time, but he got a good second apex there. I don't know if Tom likes anything. And as we come around the short way here, it's a 58.473. F1 58.473 from Apex Racing's Jakey. So he's now going to steal the honors of the fastest lap in qualifying here this weekend, up to this point anyways. And potentially challenging the fastest laps here from Lucas 36 now as well. We'll have to go double verify that in a couple of minutes time here, but I believe that is one of them. I believe that is one of them. Do you mean that in the sense that I think you mean that, Ray? You believe you're in now, Widow? Alright. Alright, so 1/10 down currently on that 58.4. That, again, that doesn't mean anything. We're only halfway through here, so that was just a second timing sector. We have, this is now the third sector essentially, so we go through Spoon Curve, and we get up to right before 130R is where that end of the third timing sector is, and of course that begins the final sector, which is 130R, the Casio Triangle, to the start-finish line. So coming through Spoon Curve, using all the corner, again using all that inside apex and maximizing the exit on track there. Again, gonna have another good lap time here, settled right in, and let's see what he's got. Down of a quarter second here now, so losing a little bit of time through sector number 3 there compared to last time around the racetrack here as we come into the Casio Triangle. Now let's see what he's got. He catches that first apex this time. He gets a little bit of a hook on the curb. That might cost a smidge of time there as well, but much better overall sector through Casio Triangle that time, and it's going to be a 58.467, so by about half a tenth there. Half a hundredth there, pardon me, improving slightly on that time. So 158.467 here from Apex Sim Racing's Jakey, and that is most certainly a good grouping of times right there. Tell you where to go. I can't, Jay, because I don't know. Oh. Alright, so it is Jakey here. He's coming around. We haven't been paying attention to the timing sector, so we'll wait to see when he crosses the second timing sector, which is just under the bridge here. There we go. Almost 4 tenths, 3.5 tenths up on that 58.4 right now, so looking pretty good here on the racetrack right now. Alright, again, just another good, consistent lap. I mean, everything looks just identical from the last lap. It's going to be hard to say where he's at here. He should be right around, probably not losing too much time there, I think. And he actually gained a tenth, so he's up almost half a second here, so we could see our first 57 here in qualifying. It's pinned in the comments. Pinned in the comments. Pinned in the comments. Oh, yeah, he should. He should if he has, if he followed the link. And there it is. It's a 57.977, and I'm going to say Jakey is a little bit happy about that. That is going to be the fastest qualifying time here so far in the BRZ Race Asylum North America One Make Series, and he definitely put his stamp on qualifying here today with that little smoke show at the end of it there. So the fastest driver in qualifying definitely now belongs to Apex Sim Racing's Jakey. Take your screenshot, Jake. Those were some laps from Apex Sim Race's Jakey right there, ladies and gentlemen. That was a good shot in qualifying. The improvement from this driver has just come leaps and bounds over the last, I would say, 3 months since he's gotten that upgraded setup there. So he is moving right now. That's just Jake fashion, ATB. I mean, I'm not surprised. He always does that. He talks himself down. He says how crap he is, says how slow he is, and he just goes down and lays it all out, slaps it on the table, and walks away. Like, like, yeah, big, yeah, I bet. Oops, Lukey, yeah, big grin on this man's face right now. Oh, good job, Jakey. Nice qualifying time, dude. That was some laps right there, ladies and gentlemen. That's for sure. So great job there from Apex Sim Racing's Jakey, and moving and grooving. That's my job. It's gonna be a very fun season. It's gonna be a crazy fun season. All right, so let's go take a little peek and see what we see here. Looks like we got through that initial rush of drivers right at the beginning here so far, so that's fantastic. So great job to our first group of drivers here today, and that was some good lapping. That was some good lapping. I had to get that in for Luke, though. That's funny. We've seen Jakey do that a few times in the past, where he just comes in and puts his stamp on qualifying with that, lap that everybody was trying to get but couldn't quite squeeze, and he just nicks it in there somehow every time. I don't understand how he does it, but he manages. He always manages. Have a good night, Hooligan. We appreciate you, my dude. Yeah, you too, Jake. Have a good night, dude. Have a good night, brother. Nice qualifying, guys. Nice qualifying. All right. Thank you as always. Appreciate the comms. Hey, it's all good, Jakey. All good, my dude. Go get that rest. Jake came into the room and then he bounced. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. All right, sounds good. Sounds good. All right, that was a great rush of drivers. We love to see that. So that's about, I would say we got about a division, pretty close to a division's worth of drivers qualified, I think, here now. Give or take one or two at this point. And we're just going to go get ourselves caught up in Discord here for a second during the little break in between drivers. If I were to get into the right Discord server, that usually helps. He's a rockin' and a rollin'. We're not missing anything that needs my immediate attention right now anyways. The rest of it we'll check on later. Always just got to make sure you prioritize during the stream what needs attention and what doesn't need attention. Some things need it, some things do not. Where is Bathurst tomorrow, hey? Yeah, no, it's going to be a good race tomorrow night. 90 minutes at Bathurst. 90 minutes at Bathurst. I'm bringing in a co-host for that one. Gonna need another set of eyes. There's going to be a lot happening on that racetrack. So yes, we got 2 broadcasters coming in for IRL tomorrow night. So ACC broadcast will be done by myself and a special guest who we're not going to name at this moment. You guys will have to tune in to find out who our guest in the commentary booth is with us. Yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. The guys will really be on hitting it hard tomorrow during for practice in the early part of the day. That's going to be the time to get in there and really pick their brains, in my opinion. ATB. That is what I would do, because all the top boys usually get in there and start practicing a couple hours early. They'll run a few laps and then just bounce. But if you can catch them in there, man, if you can catch them in there, get that set up, man. Get that tune. Oh, my back is just all kinds of trouble today. Jeepers creepers. All right. All right, chat. Well, we're still waiting for some drivers to come in, so we're gonna throw that off. We're gonna let this cruise around here for a minute. I don't think there's any sound on it. Lobby's still open, yeah. Is what's still open, Widow? I'm not sure which one you're talking about at the moment here. RA lobby's still up, yes. IRL race is always open for registration. It's just whether or not you're one of the first 30 to register. All right, chat. I'm gonna. Hey, what's going on, Leo? How you doing, brother? Yeah, Ray's the host. She just stepped away for a few minutes. You might want to jump into Jay's lobby for that, Widow. Hey, good night, Black Widow. Or good night, Bo. Sorry. It's Bo that sent the message. All right, chat. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Yeah. Go warm up before you come in, Widow. I don't think you can run practice in here. So, all right, chat. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. I had to do a little stretch session there. I was starting to get a little cramped up. All right, so I'm just waiting for our next set of qualifiers as I make a whole bunch of noise, wrecking everything, getting set back up here. All right, let's talk about the track a little more. All right, so on the track, you can see there's a bunch of notes on the track. Of course, compliments of Special Operations Administrator from GT45 Gaming, Miss Devious, and of course, co-founder of 1010s Racing as well. This famous circuit was actually built before there were highways in Japan. It's one of the very few circuits in the world with a figure 8 layout, with an overpass with many unique corners on the track, as it's one of the favorite tracks for top drivers around the world. And that's not really a false statement by any stretch of the imagination. So on the track map, we see a bunch of numbers in red. All right, so the numbers in red, ladies and gentlemen, indicate a special note, and that special note is what's kind of spread across the literature throughout the map. So let's talk about some of the special notes here. We'll wait for our next driver to jump on track. So we go down to red number 1, and of course that's corner 1 and 2. And a first turn is a combination of turns 1 and 2. The braking for this section can be a little intimidating for some drivers. There are a few options to tackle this section, but it comes down to risk versus reward. And that's most certainly the case. I mean, we've seen some drivers take it cautiously, and we've seen some drivers absolutely send it. And depending on how you approach that corner, it really sets up that first sector. It really sets up the beginning of your lap. So, risk, if you could pull it off consistently, will reward you with good times. Rewards, well, only if you get it right. So that takes us to sector number 2, and that's the immediate set of corners coming out of turn 1 and 2 towards the bottom right hand side of the track map there. We call that the snake. The snake is a series of 5 turns that forces drivers to test their weight transfer skills. This will get increasingly more difficult as tire wear becomes an issue, and that is what we're talking about when we say race car stability. So as the drivers are navigating the left and right hand S corners, now remember, as we're watching these laps, they're also going uphill and they're also undulating a little bit. Some are on camber, some are off camber. So you really need to let your car settle down in a straight line before you go to crank it over to the other direction. If your car is leaning to the right and you go to make a left-hand turn with your car leaning to the right a little bit still, that's going to create a tail end slide in the race car, and that's going to slow you down. Obviously, it's going to create flat spotting potentially on your tires, how bad it happens. And of course, it's going to compromise your sector coming out into Dunlop Curve. Dunlop Curve is that final sector, and you can get that completely wrong as well. You have to really be careful on your throttle input coming up the hill, because it is a very uphill blind left-hand corner, and it does cut very sharply at one spot very quickly. And the unknowing or the unattentive driver will get caught out in the grass there, and then you're going to eat a whole bunch of sand, and it's just a bad day when you come out of the Dunlop Curve. So that takes us to note number 3, right in the center bottom part of the track map. And there's a sand trap along the outside of Degner 1 and Degner 2. If a driver should go off track for any reason, the sand trap is a great safety feature, and it's really good at ruining a driver's race. And all the orange around the track map, the end is all the sand traps, so to speak, the gravel traps. And those are designed to slow the race cars down, to slow the momentum down. So if they do get past the gravel into the tire barriers, the impact is just less aggressive, and that is exactly why we see the sand. And because this is such a high-speed technical racetrack, it is really a required safety feature here on the racetrack for these drivers. And we can see Degner 1 and 2 again is another one of those sets of corners. It's kind of a risk versus reward sector. We've seen drivers like Jake and Bo Snipe send it around Degner 1, and no lift, just send it, catch the curb just in the right way. You got to really straight line that out to make it work. Move immediately over to that exit curb and on the brakes, because again, you're moving downhill in this sector as well. So and that's why you're going to see sometimes guys' cars start to slide sideways coming into the Degner 2, especially because you really do need to get on the brakes there. It's a third gear, second gear corner, depending on the car, of course, you're driving, and you really have to get hard on the brakes. So all your weight transfer has gone to the front end of your car at that point in time, and because of the downhill part of the racetrack, the back end really starts to get light, and it can very easily over rotate the car. So braking is super, super important coming into Degner 2 to get that run up into the hairpin. And that takes us to note number 4 on the racetrack. Right, so note number 4 is the hairpin. That's about the midway point of the racing track at this point here. We call that about the halfway point here at Suzuka, and it's a very tight radius. It's a true 180-degree hairpin turn. Drivers bring their cars to a crawl to make this turn. When getting back on the power, drivers need to be careful not to give the car too much too quickly. And we've seen that a couple of times there. You can see the wheel spin as you're heading uphill. You need to be in a lower gear for that, obviously. And then if you don't stay in the lower gear, obviously you're going to lose momentum coming up the hill in a higher gear. So you really do need to monitor throttle control coming back out of the exit of the hairpin, and that sets up spoon curve. So it is an important sector in the racetrack, and that's turn number 12 on the racetrack too for those of us that are following along at home. So that takes us down into red note number 5. That's on the top left-hand side of the track map there. That's spoon curve. Spoon curve is a combination of turns 15 and 16. The brake zone is rather straightforward. Many drivers treat this section as a single turn with a double apex rather than 2 separate turns. Drivers need to be mindful of the sand trap on the outside of T16 if they run wide. We've seen that a couple of times. Typically, the drivers can get back on track, but it definitely costs you a lot of time. And sometimes it does cause the drivers to spin out there, usually keeping them out of the wall, thankfully, but definitely can ruin a race there as well. And if you get it wrong coming out of turn 15, you get onto that artificial curbing on the outside of the curbing there, and that is just absolutely full of dust and wore out tire rubber that's come off the race cars. It's what we call the marbles, part of that exit, and you don't want to be out there either. It can cause you lots of complication. So that takes us down to note number 6. And note number 6 is near the bottom center of the track map. Again, as we're looping back down around the figure 8 part of the racetrack here. And drivers who have a penalty will be forced to serve that here. Even a minor penalty will result in about double or even triple the time lost. Drivers serving penalties are required to be predictable to avoid contact. The race administration has gone over all of the do's and don'ts with the drivers. Now, that's set up mainly for league racing, but I mean, common sense has to play some sort of a sense if you're in a daily race or something like that, or just even a general open lobby. Now, we call that penalty serving zone the electronic enforcement penalty serving zone here at Gran Turismo 7, the EEPSZ or Z, depending where you're hailing from. And what that is it's a pre-designed system built into the Gran Turismo racing system for enforcement, stewarding, race officiating, essentially, right? So we turn that system on. And what it does is there's a line buried under the racetrack. So when the cars go over that line, their transponder unit, which is connected underneath the race car in a holder, and that's how all the information is relayed to race control at the tower. So when they cross that line with that transponder unit, what it does is it's designed to cut the power of the engine to the driver's car for the exact amount of time that their penalty is designated, whether it be a half second, 1 second, 3 seconds if it's a pit lane infraction. And until that time limit has ended, there will not be power restored to a driver's race car. Now, the slowest also to lower the car down to is 30 miles per hour, and that's a safety feature. And then from there, the drivers can continue. So the moment that timer runs out in that penalty enforcement zone, the drivers restore power to their engines and they can get back on the throttle and get back to their race. So it's a controlled environment system, and it works extremely well here in the game. So it really comes down to the consistency of the track officiating at that point, handing out those said penalties, whichever it is that are turned on. So that takes us to note number 7. Note number 7 is just above the Degners there again, the center of the screen, but it's now on 130R, and that is the overpass that's going over top now of where the straight to the hairpin is. And this turn has a radius of 130 meters. Drivers may lift or even brake for this turn depending on the condition of their tires. These GT3 cars should be full send. And of course, our final note, the Casio triangle, the final 3 section corners here for the start for the run at the lap. The Casio triangle is a low speed turn, lots of passing opportunities here. Keep a watchful eye, and that is very, very true. It is a great passing opportunity under racing conditions because it is such a low speed section of the racetrack. And typically those low speed sections of the racetracks are going to be the sections that create the passing opportunities. All right, so we do have a driver that has just jumped into our qualifying lobby here. So we'll get that underway here in just a moment's time. T1 is the bane of my enjoyment of this track. It actually used to be, but you know, the more and more I continue to run Suzuka, especially in those super formula cars, the more and more I continue to learn about the racetracks. So it's become not so much of a hate as a will to try and conquer now. It doesn't mean that I still like to race on it by any stretch of the imagination, but that's what it means. And just in case the viewers are wondering at home, you've heard me talk about cold tires. Okay, my car has been sitting in pit lane now for the duration of this lobby, almost 2 hours. Okay, look at the tires on the bottom left-hand side of the screen. You see it's racing soft tires. That's the required tire for the qualifying. And you can see that there is a blue rim around those racing tires. That is telling you right there that those tires are cold AF. They are cold. You go out on the racetrack on those tires right now, it is going to be, get your ice skates out, hold on, we're going for a ride. It's going to take 2, 3, maybe even 4 laps to pull them out of that. So if you still are skeptical about our tire temperatures in Gran Turismo, even though they don't show us that, there is prime example of it right there. When you see your tires flashing red when you're under a slide, that means you're overheating your tires. So the system kind of is in place there. They just haven't given us all the information. I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, so we'll just be. All right, we should have this driver. Oh, clipping my mic here. Have this driver coming out on track here in just a moment's time to go ahead and run their qualifying. So. All right, so we got another driver just jumping out on track here. We're just waiting for him to get out and start running his set of laps here, and then we'll bring, of course, that screen over to everybody watching at home. So we do have the driver out of pit lane here now, and we'll flip over that big screen there. There we go. All right, so we got 10 Tenths Racing's J-Set out on track here, and well, hasn't finished his livery yet. We'll get that sorted. All right, so Jay's coming in on a last-minute decision here to go ahead and run some of the season. Now, he's involved in another series, so he's not going to make the whole season, but he is going to run the races that he can get into this season. So let's see what he's got here at Suzuka. He's been on very little practice, so let's see what he can do. I'm always interested to see what J-Set can do on the racetrack because, in my personal opinion, being team owner of this driver and watching him develop, he's got an incredible amount of pace still stored away inside of him, yet he just hasn't tapped into it yet. So let's see what he's got here. He does not like this racetrack, I can confirm that. And he may very well be very unfamiliar with this car as well. We'll have to wait and see what he does. It's going to be interesting. I'm having trouble spelling tonight. That's alright, Ray. It's allowed. The outlap looking pretty good here so far. He's got some good lines around the racetrack, so I honestly can't tell you what to expect out of this driver, ladies and gentlemen. I really can't. I haven't seen him turn any laps for this, so I'm along for the ride with y'all. That's for sure. A good exit through 130R there. And again, just a little bit of mile per hour down on the bow snipe to Jakey times here. So it should suspect based off that to see maybe 202s, 203s, somewhere in there, if I had to guess. Oh, don't do that. All right, so it was, that's definitely not what that was. A 158 out lap. All right. And there it is, turn 1 and 2. And again, that risk versus reward. Jay knows to get good lap times around the racetracks, you really got to use all the racetracks. So that's all he was doing there. Just miscalculated it slightly. Those tires are still slightly cold. But that's all right. You know what? Just smash the rest of the lap, put down the time, make up for it in lap number 2. So we're heading around Dunlop into the Degners here. And just a lift coming from this driver through Degner 1 there. Heading into Degner 2 there. looking a little spicy, but looking like he's starting to settle into the lap here now, heading into the hairpin. This is a very important part of the racetrack here. Again, the exit speed really is important for Spoon Curve here. A little bit of wheel spin there, but other than that, it looked like a pretty good exit. So the last final part of the lap starting to look pretty good here. So calling it a practice lap, essentially a safe lap right at the moment here for J-Set with that little bit of mistake in turn 1 and 2. That definitely could have cost 3 or 4 seconds on the lap. And again, just being a little too gingerly there on the brakes coming into Spoon Curve. And gonna have a little whoopsie doodles here. Shake it off, get your head in the game, you're all good, my G. There you go. See, he knows what to do. Get it off of there. Set yourself up for the next one. Alright, so what we always try to tell the drivers here at 10 Tenths Racing, if you're especially in qualifying, if you're missing the braking points, if you find yourself overdriving the car, dial it back 10 meters. Dial it back 10 meters. That half a second earlier braking is most likely your actual braking point, but when you're overdriving the car, it's really hard to decide that, so don't overdrive the car. Alright, so a 212.426 there for Jay's first lap, and obviously 2 mistakes there on that first lap, so we're going to see him. He risk versus reward. He's going to take the risk. You know, typically when we see the drivers make a mistake in a corner, you see them go very cautiously next time around. He's sending it. He's like, I got this. I got this. He's got this. See, Ray knows. Ray knows. He's having a good run through Snake here. Really needs to set up the exit of this, but last part of Snake gets set up for the Dunlop. And just a little lift right there, gets back on the accelerator, and he's got a nice good lap going here so far. The early first couple sectors looking good. Definitely going to be a blue, at least, on his first lap here. Degner 2, a little bit under braking there. Nice good clip on the apex. At 8 tenths of a second, that 212 is definitely a lie, but he was all right there through the whole lap here so far. I don't think it was a 212. I really don't. It might have been. And you can see there's a lot of tire tracks out there on the back straight heading into Spoon Curve there as well, alright? So, not the back straight, sorry, the mid straight. This driver is literally just using all that racetrack, and again, sometimes I can catch you out, so you got to be careful dipping that back tire sometimes. The drivers have optimum tire conditions here though, so you got lots of grip, so it shouldn't usually throw you out. But as your tires, start to wear down in a fuel or a tire situation, then yes, absolutely, it's going to potentially cost you. So the live timing is completely confusing me here right now. It says he's only a couple seconds up on that 212, but we know that's definitely not the case, as he's at about a 56 coming around the corner here. So it's going to be a low it's a 201 if I'm not mistaken. It is. It's a 201.116 there from TT's J set there. So there we go, a good lap, and better than I thought I'd actually see. So let's see if we can put it together again here. If he doesn't go faster than you, you'll be disappointed. Alright, so third time around here, he's definitely settled into his rhythm here now. He got over that little bit of an early shaky, jittery start there to qualifying, and now he's going here, so. He's a good driver. I've never disputed he's a good driver. Never ever. He puts in a lot of work. He deserves the pace he's got, 100%. He is up a little bit here on that 201. He's up by about 400s right now, so good consistent pace being shown here. And for the little bit of practice I know that this driver has gotten, probably in the last couple hours, just get ready for this. He's got some good times going down here, so it really is a matter of time before this driver overruns my pace. Yeah, it really is. It's just a true story. Much more controlled spoon curve there that time too. That should pick him up a little bit of time here. It depends on the exit. He knows to take that short line through there, cut the corner a little bit. That's going to give you a much shorter corner in a sense in that kink. And he's 4/10 up here, so he lost a little bit of time through that mid sector there as he's coming through, but still keeping him in that 201 range here. So the Casio triangle again, very important. Just clipping that apex right there. Fighting the car a little bit there as he's coming around the corner. And it's a 201.681 there coming from J-Set. So final qualifying lap here for this driver as he comes around into turns 1 and 2. And he's got 2 pretty decent laps put down there. So let's see if he tries to really send one here. It's coming. It's coming. You're not wrong, ATB. I don't disagree. It's something that I'm trying and hoping that GTC is going to teach him in those long nose to tail races where you have to fuel save and you have to tire save and you can't send the race car at its full what's the word I'm looking for here? Potential. That's the word I'm looking for here. So, you know, round 1 last weekend was a really big learning curve for some of the TT guys, and you know, I think that particular endurance series is going to teach him exactly that part of his racing. I really do, and I think it's just going to make him a better racer overall. So. You know, day by day, race by race, he's in the dailies, he's running dailies again, you know, he's really getting into it. So the sky's the limit for this driver, in my opinion. That's just my honest opinion. He just continues to learn, he continues to get faster, he continues to understand, and he's got some pretty good teachers along the way. And I'm not even talking about the 10/10 instructors. I'm talking about just people that he knows within the sim racing community, you know. So he's got a lot of advantages at his disposal here if he wants to put it all together. He really does, and I look forward to seeing how quick this driver really can become, because I think he's going to be quick. I really do. Just needs time to develop it, right? So overshot the corner a little bit there. It's tough. It's a tough circuit, man. But he's doing good here. Again, it's going to be another low 2 minutes. It's going to be a 2:01 something here. So very consistent laps there from Jay said. So 2:01.116 and a 2:01.373. Jay, take a screenshot. That was a good set of laps coming from that driver. That's going to play some, you know, that's going to play some right in that big group of drivers we have right there in those 201s, those low 202s, and it's starting to turn into a pretty big group of drivers. So this is going to be a close season. Need to get better at sprints and qualifying pace. I think I have decent endurance discipline. You know what, ATB, that's exactly what I've been working on over the last 3 or 4 months. Not necessarily my race pace, but I've been working on my qualifying pace, and by pushing my limits and driving very uncomfortably and scarily and crashing a whole bunch and making lots of stupid mistakes and getting frustrated. That's where my ultimate pace is starting to come from. Not only am I learning how to get faster in a sprint race situation or a qualifying situation, but I'm also learning how to get that race pace at that speed consistently. Now, obviously, my ultimate best lap pace is not my race pace currently, but we are slowly but surely getting it there. So you're right on the money. You're right on the money, ATB. You are 100% on the money, and I don't even disagree with your statement, because your endurance racing is on point. Your fuel calculations need a little bit of work, but your endurance racing is on point. But that's the next step, man. It really is the next step. Honest to God, it really is. You know, do the time trials, do the TT time trials for dailies every week. You know, put in a 15-20 minute session on daily B and daily C every single week, and then come back to it in a couple of days and try to improve it. Chase your ghost. Just keep chasing yourself. I set my ghost half a second ahead of myself for that situation, so when I catch up to the ghost, you know you've got a good gain. And you know that there's more time in you, and that's how I've been developing my pace. It's not necessarily from racing in open lobbies and working with specific instructors. My pace development is coming from being a commentator and watching racers race, watching their inputs specifically, but it's also coming from continuing to force myself to drive on what I consider my edge, and that is how you break your pace wall, because your next pace limit is past your comfortable zone. And until you break that comfort zone and start to learn how to drive outside your comfort zone, you're going to be stuck in that proverbial pace wall. So that's your next step, my dude, is go make the mistakes all over again. Go push, go force yourself through corners, go deeper into braking zones, just force yourself to overdrive the car a little bit. Go past your comfort zone. You're going to learn very quickly which corners you can and can't over push in compared to what your normal pace is, and before you know it, you're finding incredible steams of pace. Trust me, you just got to be willing to go through the motions. You really do. No, that was good qualifying, Jay. Nice, consistent times, dude. That was a good qualifying run. 100%, dude. 100%. For how little practice you had, that was a good qualifying time. A very good qualifying. We'll get them straightened away for you, Ray. We promise. You have my word. We'll get him a livery as well. You gotta wait though, Jay. I gotta do your GTC livery before I do this one for you. That race is coming up next, so I'll start working on that tomorrow for you, bud. And for the rest of the TT guys, your base GTC livery, just ask for it if you want it, and it's available. I just gotta share it, basically. Yeah, you're all good, Jay. You're all good. If you don't see a livery by like midday tomorrow, text me. Be like, boss, where's my livery? Okay, that's the deal. Definitely not my 650. I don't think it's a whole lot different though. I think the two cars drive fairly similarly. I'm not sure. I really struggle with the BRZ. For me, the qualifying combination is just, yeah, I'm not interested. For me personally, this would be enough to deter me, but I just genuinely don't like the BRZ. I can't figure it out. If I can't figure the car out, don't want to drive it, you know? All right, so we got another driver just jumped in. Yeah, true that. I mean, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. It's all good. Yeah, I got you, my guy. I got you. We got you. No, that was a good qualifying run, Jay. You qualified up at you're definitely up in the top half of the field at the moment with those times. And no cap, that's serious. You'd be racing in Div 1 right now if it holds up. Alright, so we do have another 10-10s driver coming out. They always do this. They always seem to come out and qualify one behind another. That's what I love about this 10-10s team, man. It really is a family unit. There's no joke. It's a great start to hopefully a pretty good repeatable sim racing team in the future. I mean, that's the goal anyways, so. There we go. All right, we're just waiting for the driver to get to a certain point on the track so the ghosting goes away and we can see the car. So no livery on this car yet. You would see a green Xbox livery if this car was done. So give it time. She probably just bought the car and has done much of the same as Jay said, and probably just ran a few laps and just come in to send it. So this is 1010's Black Widow. And obviously I have lots of information on this driver. Again, another one of the drivers over here at 1010's Racing. She's our lead instructor here over at 1010's Racing. So expect her to be quick around here. She is a very quick lady, and she's a very competitive lady. So she's going to be looking to challenge Jake's times even with no practice. So we could see that kind of pace, but we'll see how she has clicked into the car here. And right now she's just really got great lines coming around the racetrack here. So we'll see how she does, but we're definitely going to want to see sub 2 minute times from this driver. She will not be happy with anything higher than 2 minutes for sure. But she's quick. She's an efficient racer. She understands racing. She understands cars. So we could expect her to see some pretty good lap times here from Black Widow. So it's an absolute pleasure to have her a part of the team, and her expertise and her knowledge has gone a long way to helping our drivers continue to progress themselves. So should see some good times coming from Black Widow here. She's been around a long time, you know. She's been around GT Sport, GT7. She's been with some pretty reputable teams over her course of her sim racing career. So, you know, she's a competitor. She's a true competitor. She really is. And you can see she's right there. She's on par with that exit speed from Jake and Bo Snipe there as well, coming through 130R. And this is just the out lap here. So already it looks like she feels extremely comfortable in the car. She knows the racetrack. I know she knows the racetrack. So the racetrack is not the issue here for Black Widow. The issue is going to be just the lack of practice time, maybe compared to some of the competitors in the field, because she just signed up about an hour ago. So 201.1 was the out lap, if that's actually reading correctly. No, it's not. It's a 57.2. So that does put her on that sub 2 minute pace for the out lap. Gets a great first couple corners there into the snake, and you can see she's utilizing every millimeter of the racetrack, and even in some spots a little bit extra. That's really, for all the racers out there, that's what you've got to do. It doesn't matter what racetrack in this game it is you're racing on. There are very rare exceptions where using all the racetrack is not going to benefit you. The racetrack is X amount of feet wide. You can use it plus a little extra in some cases. Take advantage of it. If you're looking for improvement, you got to learn how to use the racetrack and the environment to your advantage as well. At the end of the day, we are playing a video game, so the best drivers in the world learn those advantages and disadvantages of each car, each track, and that's why they maintain the skill levels and the pace they have, because they're constantly adapting to the changes of the game, and even the ones that the game doesn't tell us have happened. So as racers, if we want to find that ultimate pace, we got to use all of that racetrack, and we got to just to learn the advantages and disadvantages to each vehicle and each racetrack. And when you learn those things, the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. So she could reach the pedals. All right, so a pretty good exit coming out of Spoon Curve here. And this is the first hot lap, so tires not quite fully up to temperature here yet. They will be now at this point on the racetrack. The car is going to start feeling good, which is going to be good. That gives you a good setup going into the Casio Triangle the first time around. And apparently she's up 2.8 seconds or something on a lap here. I'm not sure how that's calculated, but we'll go with it. If that's the case, she's in a 55 range and she's about to smoke Jake, so I don't think that's the case because it wasn't purple, it was blue. So let's see what she's got this first time around. And again, it's a 59.692 here for Black Widow for her first lap, so right immediately into the sub 2 minute range. She's right there with Apex Racing's Bo Snipe here currently. As far as the first lap goes, they're actually very identical. That's actually funny. So another quick driver here as she's trying to shake down that 57.977 from Jake. I know this lady too well. She wants that top time, but and she will push for it. She will most certainly try and get it. Sent it pretty good there through Degner 1, but I do believe that Bo Snipe and Jakey were sending it just a little bit harder through Degner 1 there, so she may want to commit to that if she really wants to find that ultimate time around there. We'll have to see, but we don't know what this time is. It looks like a good lap. Gets a little bit of a wide exit there, but seemed like she maintained pretty good momentum coming around the hairpin there, so heading up in towards Spoon Curve now. Let's see what that live timing says coming out of Sector 3. Right at the bridge there before 130R. Using up all that racetrack, much like we've seen our faster drivers here so far this weekend do as well. Really trying to utilize the flow. The flow of the track is really what's important. And you learn that in the Super Formula cars if you run even just a day, some time trialing for qualifying for the daily. You very quickly learn that there is a very efficient flow to this racetrack in that high downforce car. It's not any different. You just got to adjust your driving style for the less downforce and power in the car, basically. A little bit of a wiggle coming out of the apex there. Again, that curb bouncing that some of the drivers were talking about when we were asking them why the drivers weren't really using the curbs in the Casio. That is exactly why right there. Just a little bit of curb bounce coming from Widow there is 59.964 here on lap 2. So very identical to Apex Bow Snipe right now, actually, on these 2 laps here so far. All right, let's just get these dashboards caught up a little bit here. Baby power, man. She probably just slam on those pedals too. All right, so coming through that second live timing sector, let's see where she's at here. She's a little bit down there, so that's all right. That is all right. Lots of lap to make that back up again. Little wiggle coming out of the exit there, but it seems like she's coming out of there at a really good pace. So just a matter of getting the perfect lap hooked up at the right time here, I think, right now, as it, clearly, just looking at exit speeds and corner speeds of this driver compared to our faster drivers here today, she is most certainly right there dipping at the similar speeds, but I mean, a little bit of a mistaken spoon there as well. Didn't really fully utilize that corner, so that's going to cost her a little bit of exit speed and exit time here. But she was down 3/4. Let's see if she's gained some of that back here. She's gained about a half a tenth back there, so definitely lots of time left in this lap yet for her. Coming in, she's going to be breaking down at about the 100-meter board there, it looks like. Just nibbling at those curbs there. And I think she's starting to feel comfortable around the track here now. So let's see what she's got for her final lap here. That was a 2-minute lap that time. 2-minute .387. So the 2:59 still standing here for Black Widow. And let's see what she does here in this final lap. Oh yeah, as soon as they learn how to use those legs, man, they have so much power. How's it going, Kilty? How you doing, my guy? All right, so Black Widow out on track here. She's trying to improve that best time of a 59.692 here. She's only down a little bit there, just a nibble. Good Dunlop curve and a really solid Degner sector here could very easily make all that time up. And again, just being cautious through the Degners here. I could just see a little bit of difference between her and our faster drivers here right there. And that seems to be the uncomfortable spot on the track currently right there for her in this car. So then you need eyes everywhere. Facts of life right there, Ray. When they start walking, man, it is on. It is adventure time. All right, heading into Spoon Curve here. Gets a nice early apex there. And again, just not quite utilizing all that track, but really tucks in for an early apex there. And she's going to try and utilize that on the exit. She looks like she gets a pretty good run out of Spoon Curve here as we head up into the back straight. Now seeing that EEPSZ, the Electronic Enforcement Penalty Serving Zone, and yellow arrows there. And only down a tenth here, so it can definitely still be made up here through the Casio Triangle. Oh, yum. That sounds tasty, Kilt. We got a pizza lover's melt waiting for this guy's belly here in a little bit. And it is a 159 lap there from Black Widow as well. So 59.777. So it's going to be a 59.692 and a 59.777. And for limited practice, pretty good laps right there for Black Widow. Just giving you a taste of what her pace looks like here for this Racing Asylum North American One Make Group 3 BRZ series starting December 2nd. Still open for registration. It's still open to all. All skill levels welcome. And if you missed the qualifiers today, of course, there's going to be times to be made up with our administrations on special on a special arrangement. So get in there, get registered. We're pinned up in the YouTube chat in the chats here. Just hit that pinned comment and go join the Discord server. One of the admins can help direct you from there. So that was TT Black Widow right there. So some good times coming from Black Widow right there. And we're chilling. I mean, we chilling. wait for our next driver to get ready and out on track here. So it's been a good mixture of drivers. We've seen some, well, Jakey with the only 57 here so far in qualifying in the 2 weekends. Seen lots of sub 2 minute laps. We've seen those low 201 laps. We haven't seen anybody really in that 2 minute flat range yet, which has kind of surprised me today. But, and then of course we've seen that what's going to turn out to be a large mid pack. I mean, those 202, 203 times, there is a lot of drivers sitting right there as well. So we got a couple like clustered up groups of drivers here so far in qualifying, and that's going to provide some really close, tight racing when the season kicks off at Watkins Glen on December 2nd. So, I mean, settle in because we're in for a doozy of a series. It's a great lineup of racetracks. All 10 of these racetracks are racing racetracks, and it's going to be a good series. It is going to be a good series. Sorry, Kilty. I know, man, but dude, I had one of those tropical heat melts from Pizza Hut last night. I ordered a meal for two because I always do that, so I have supper for the next night. I ordered a pepperoni lover, so I ate the tropical heat one last night. It was legit. It was legit, man. It was pretty good. They overdid the melt crust a little bit harder than what my poor mouth would like, but it was fantastic, man. Had a little bit of heat. I mean, no, it wasn't terrible. It's not like a jerk. It's just some jalapenos and some chicken, probably a little bit of some kind of spice or something in there to make it zing. But it was bloody well tasty, man. It was worth it. It was good, dude. It was good. No joke. But I mean, it had a little hit. It was good. It was good. It was a mild spicy for the not so hardcore spicy food enthusiast. It'd probably be pretty good for one of them. So a normal spice induced person would think that would be probably a pretty good hot little melt. So yeah, I think they did a good job on it. Not too greasy either, actually, and that was the thing I was surprised about coming from Pizza Hut. It was actually not that greasy at all, so it was actually quite enjoyable. You hate pepperoni? Oh, Ray, honey, you just didn't say that. It's tough, ATB. It's tough. I still can't hit my personal best in qualifying. I did much better for the GTC qualifier. I got very close. I got within a half second, so I was pretty satisfied with that. But um, I can't quite get him yet either. I just can't. I can't put down that best lap I can do in such a short amount of time. It's not quite there yet. It's not there yet. Maybe in time, but it's okay. Everybody has their own preferences. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. Yeah, no, it was legit. It was legit. I don't eat Pizza Hut very often. There's only a couple things I order from there, really, but the pasta being one of them. I do enjoy their pasta. It's quite hearty. But yeah, that melt was good. It was legit. It was legit. I'm not gonna lie, food is one of my favorite things in the world, man. I've got a high metabolism. I can eat till the cows come home, so I love food. So I ain't gonna lie if it ain't tasty, that's for sure. Especially when it comes to fast food, right? I mean, it is what it is when you buy fast food in a sense. So, um, you get what you get. ATV, what we try to do? Over in TT, we try to have a little meeting before the guys get into the race and the gals, and we just try to have a little jab session in a sense. We poke at each other, we make each other laugh, giggle, and it kind of takes your mind off of that pressure of the race. And then you get into the race, and it just kind of seems to come to you. So, just that's what you need to do, my man. You just need not to worry about the race. You're prepared for the race. If you're prepared for the race, you should have nothing to worry about. You need to really start trusting your driving skill because you have it. The big thing is learning that patience on the track. And if something bad does happen, just learn to pick yourself up immediately mentally and get your head back right into the game and just start chasing him down. Like, I drive mad when that happens, right? When I start driving mad, I start driving. And it actually happened last weekend. Like, I was involved in an incident. It cost me a few positions. I ended up at the back of the pack from right up front and almost. And by the end of the pit window, man, I was sitting back on the podium, right? So I just got mad. And I absolutely just laser focused in. Really, that's what it comes down to. You just got to let it go. You can't change it. It already happened. You just gotta pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, and immediately get right back into your mindset. And that's all there is to it. Dude, that's no joke either. I'm not gonna reread that comic 'cause it's a family friendly stream, but no joke, no joke, no joke. True story, dude. True story. 100%. I support it. 100%. I support it. It's a very healthy part of my lifestyle, and it It is the reason why I can still do my career. So um, there's reason, and there's definitely some logistic behind it. There's some legitimacy behind it. Trust me. My back being in the shape it is some days, there's no way I should be able to do what I do. You know, what would normally cripple people and they can't walk for 2 days, I go and do a physical labor job like that. That's the kind of pain that I just, ignore. And a lot of it is due to my medical choices. No, it doesn't for me. It locks me in when I get mad. Internally, like not like snapping on stream, mad. If I'm losing my shit on stream, stuff on stream. Pardon me. I sorry, ladies and gentlemen at home. We let that one slip out. If I'm losing it on stream, then yes, that is going to make my race worse. But if I'm just mad because that happened and I had good pace, immediately my mindset goes to, dude, you got good pace. Lock it in and get them. And I drive with an absolute purpose. And yeah, when I get into that kind of mentality, look out, because I just don't miss my marks. I just don't miss. Oh yeah, it'll happen. And before you know it, man, life will be life will just be normal part of life. It's I don't want to get. We'll save this discussion for a Ghost After Dark stream where we can have this discussion properly. I'm very pro for it, and I have my reasons, and I have no issue totally discussing those on a different style of stream for sure. For sure. I'm all for it. I think it's a great natural. I think it's a great natural thing for a lot of things that people ail and struggle with in life, and I think that that is better than any pill that a doctor could prescribe to you in most cases, to be honest. So obviously that there's exceptions to that. I mean, if you have, you need a heart pill or something like that, those are pills you take. Those are pills you take. But for me, for my headaches and pains and aches and woes, I'm not taking a bunch of pills for that, man. I'm getting older, and at some point you build a tolerance to these pain medicines, ibuprofens, Tylenols, all this stuff they prescribe to you. You build a tolerance for it over time, and when I hit 70 and 80 years old and I truly genuinely need to start taking those pills, I want them to actually work. So that's one reason why I don't take stuff now. And you know what? My natural choices have not really steered me wrong over the years. It's not making me sick. I'm not unhealthy by any means because of it. So yeah, to me, it's I think it's a good natural way to deal with a lot of different things. You just laughing. I know. It's hard skirting around some of these discussions. I'm telling you. It's just not the right kind of stream for that discussion. That's all. That's all. That's all. Because we have to remember that in many places around the world it's not legal, right? So it's hard to. It's a fine line. It's a fine line. One of those fine lines, like a fine wine. It only gets better with age. All right. So this is usually what happens. I mean, I think the majority of our drivers have pretty much qualified at this point. I don't think there's probably too many left. I could be wrong. I haven't seen the drivers list, so I honestly couldn't tell you to be 100%. But Ms. Ray has a better idea of where we're sitting there, I think, compared to anybody else. So, whoa, what did I just do? I don't know what I just did there, but nothing broke, so we're good. Been pro for a while now. Just finally a good proposal came up. That's good. That's good. That's a good thing. It's a positive. It really is a positive. People need to realize that it is a positive. It can be a positive. It will be. Give it time. Give it time. All your allies are making it legal. Give it time, Ray. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Your new king got in legal trouble in Canada for it. So, so just saying. 6. That's not bad. That's a pretty good job in 2 qualifying sessions, to be honest. Usually you're left with a few more than that. So, rule of thumb too is, I mean, typically you're only going to get 85 to 90% of the drivers actually show up for qualification that register, and then of course you always have your late registrants before the season starts, and then you always have your as the season is progressing registrants. So I mean, it's kind of a never it's an ongoing battle anyway, an ongoing process, not really battle, a process when it comes to qualifying drivers. And this just comes from experience running events and leagues myself. Drivers see it, they get excited about it, they want to race in it, so they come qualify and they get involved, midway through the season as well. So yeah, it's all good. That's pretty good. Only 6 out of the list ain't bad at all. And I think 1 or 2 probably have legitimate reasons. So yeah, and that's going to be, especially down where you're from, ATB. That's going to be a state by state deal for sure. Here in Canada, it's the legislation just goes across the whole country. It's not separated from one province to the next. The only thing that probably changes from province to province in Canada is maybe how you display it or stuff like that, right? But as far as the general laws of it goes, it's just across the board from province to province. It's just a federal and national set of laws, and everybody follows them, right? So, um, you know, again, a discussion I'll save for another time. We definitely have to get into the discussion because it's also leading to other things as well here in Western Canada, and I'm sure that many people are probably not aware of what's happening here, but they're running a little bit of a test program here in Western Canada as well when it comes to more um, what's the word? Addictive substances that we consider controlled substance, I guess. Up in Canada, but we'll get more into that obviously another night. But yeah, I know. I mean, the world's changing. At the end of the day, the world's changing, and it's just nice to see um, that resources are being put into the medical and the scientific research now, and we are finally realizing that there's a real purpose. You know what I mean? It has potential. So that's the important thing, and that's what I take from it all. What this has done is it has taken the stigma out of the equation, and that stigma out of the equation is now allowed for our scientific community to really get into it and really start seeing what the potential is. And I've always strongly believed myself that the cure for every ailment in this world really lies within the planet itself. If it's on the planet, that means the planet has to have a way to stop it. Cause and effect. I mean, it's the line of evolution, and that's just a bottom line. Um, we have cancer on the planet. Something on this planet will cure cancer. We just haven't found it or figured it out yet. And I do strongly believe that. And this is potentially one of those types of a part of our planet options. I think that we haven't even gotten close to untapping the capabilities yet. I really don't. Really don't. You're all good, Widow. We got you through. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not like that. It won't be like that either. I don't think ATB. It's just not like that here in Canada. I mean, I can go down to a corner store like a coffee shop and pick it up legally, and it's no issue. So, um, it won't be like that. It won't be like that. That's the way it used to be. That's the way it was before legalization started in North America. It was a medical license. You had to have you had to fill out paperwork. You had to have special permission. You had to have a card and all that in order to buy it legally, right? And there were certain producers throughout the country that were legally allowed to produce it, right? So, but now that as legalization starts, that of course changes too, and that is a big part of the legalization process is figuring out how to stem the illegal activity part of it, right? And that's the struggle, and I think that's where in the United States is really causing problem from state to state because of that exact issue right there, right? Yeah, you did great, Blido. See, darling, you did great. I told you did great. Sheesh. Just wish I had more practice in 15 minutes. Well, I mean, for 15 minutes practice, I would say that was some pretty good lapping. Just saying. Much of the same for Jay as well. In all honesty, Jay, I don't think I could even hit a 201 in the BRZ at Suzuka. Just straight up. I really don't think I can. Yeah, yeah. You had good times too, though, ATB. They were pretty good and consistent for the most part, if I remember correctly, anyways. That is, if I remember correctly. Well, that necessarily isn't the case, because, well, just gonna say short-term memory loss is a real thing. Just saying. Just gonna throw it out there. Ah, you did good, Jay. You did good, dude. All the drivers have done good today. We've seen great lap times here today. Seen good lap times all day. We haven't seen a driver over that 202 window all day, so it's been great lap times here today. I think our boat was sinking. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought, ATB. See, you're faster than me around here, too. I bet you I couldn't put 201s in here. I can't even prove it to you because I don't have my wheel hooked up, so. We had to move it out of the way to get ready to broadcast. Attention, everybody. Jay is a sandbagger. He didn't sandbag there. I would say he put in some pretty indicative pace laps there. I'm the sandbagger now, apparently. So that title was moved to me for the time being, anyways. It's going to be an interesting race this coming weekend on Saturday in Div 4 with like half of the Div 2 drivers didn't get a very good lap time, so we're all like Div 4. So like half of Div 4 is Division 2 drivers. It's going to be an interesting race. You didn't seem disappointed, Jay. You didn't seem disappointed. You know, I don't even think Hall Pass can even call you a sandbagger this time. SRT is quick. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken. Discord is popping tonight. Holy moly. I'm in a lot of Discord servers, though. Alright, we're just checking on things. Just came across something funny there. I'm not sharing though. J-Bagger. J-Bagger. It's all that bagging. That's funny. Oh, you guys are killing me today. You guys are funny. What, 0? How's it 0? Oh, because there's no audio bitrate really coming through. I got it. We don't have any stream sound coming through at the moment. I gotcha. We can change that just so YouTube doesn't bark at me. There. Just got that BRZ just sitting there running, chilling in pit lane. And let the preseason festivities begin, ladies and gentlemen. This was the best part about the whole racing season, is like the 2 weeks before the season starts and everybody talking trash to each other. I love it. That's what makes it so much fun. And it's always in good taste, so. Whacking a mic again. Always a good taste. Oh yeah, the trash talk will be thick in this season. I can feel it. Alright, not bad. That was a good little rush qualifying right there. I love that. I love it when it just goes nice and tidy like that. Can't wait to be labeled a bagger after the Indy race for IRL. Now, that is the confidence we're talking about, ATV. That is the confidence we are bloody well talking about right there. Ooh, there we go. A little bit of insider information saying lobby splits will be determined in a week's time. 2 weeks' time. Yeah, thanks, Widow. Appreciate you, darling. I appreciate all your hard work, too. The drivers, the viewers, the community members, they all work just as hard, man. It really is a team effort to make this stuff work. I can point out where I sit for the road course races and the 500. You were one excited boy for that race, let me tell you what. Holy moly. You better make sure you're like the first one to sign up on SimGrid that week so you get a spot, man. So basically after the first 3 rounds of the series, they'll have a better idea who the full-time driver list is, and then from there, that full-time driver list, I believe, don't quote me, will see some form of a priority list. So it's hard for them to determine who those drivers are until after the first couple of rounds, right? So it was a debacle. It was a little bit of chaos last week, I agree, and some drivers didn't make it in, and that's always going to upset people, unfortunately. But it's a good problem to have as a league, to have more drivers than room in the field. So when you got a 30 car grid available to you like they do in ACC PS5 and you got more than 30 drivers trying to get into the race, there's worse problems to have. There really is. On a league standpoint, it's just tough because, I mean, somebody's not going to get the race, and then, you know, that always upsets somebody. But I mean, that's just the trials and tribulations of running a league, man. You know, it's a part of it. So don't lollygag when it comes to these signups if you're competing in IRL, man, because they're filling up quick this season. Well set. Just like this one's starting to fill up quick too here. We're going to have 2 solid divisions, it looks like here, which is exactly what we were hoping to see, so... I know, I haven't even gotten to experience it yet myself, man. I need to find a series to run it just so I could go try it myself. Whenever you're ready, Ray. That's entirely up to you. We just going with the flow. We just going with the flow. So Jakey's definitely leading the way here right now in qualifying. He's going to be our top qualifier here so far in the Racing Asylum North American BRC 1 Make Group 3 Series. Again, it's a 10-week series. It's going to be very heavy American racetracks. We're going to see tracks like Watkins Glen. We're going to see tracks like Road Atlanta, Grand Valley, Trial Mountain, Deep Forest. But we're also going to see some of the great iconic racetracks out there in the world like Spa, Monza, I believe Suzuka's, not Suzuka, it's at the tip of my tongue. I was just looking at the track list, but it's a mixture of 4 really great, famous world circuits and 6 American racetracks out there this season. So it is going to be a pretty great series. These BRCs sound beautiful. You get 15 of these beautiful roaring machines on the racetrack. Oh yeah, we're in for a treat. That's without a question of a doubt. Without a question of a doubt. So, you know, these things just sound amazing. Out of a lot of the Group 3 race cars that are in the game, the BRZ is definitely by far one of the better sounding ones, without a question, especially when you're downshifting and it gives you that little bit of backflow, that back pressure sound. It's just so beautiful. It really is. You know, Gran Turismo's done a pretty great job at capturing the essence and the sounds of these cars and keeping that pretty true to, I think, what they kind of sound like in real life. You know, Gran Turismo does a good job. I mean, it is a very visually appealing sim racing game for sure, but definitely plug and play, and that's what separates it from games like iRacing and ACC. Not so much plug and play. It requires a lot of additional knowledge and time put in to understand the game because the physics engines are quite a bit different. So there is a difference, but depending on which sim you're playing. Gran Turismo is ultimately the sim racing fans game because it's a plug and play game, man. You can just go. So that's what makes it great. So we got the random weather model. I like it. There we go. Gonna use that dynamic weather model. Might see some interesting races with that dynamic weather model. Obviously only in the real world circuits because the American circuits don't get rain currently with the development of the game. But tracks like Spa and holy brain fart all of a sudden. You know, those tracks, the real world tracks, are going to be very great potential for rain. So I can't remember. I gotta go look now. It's bugging me. I literally looked at it right before we turned the stream on too. It's gonna be Watkins, Laguna, Trial, Road Atlanta, Monza, right? Monza, potential for rain at Monza, potential for rain at Spa, Red Bull Ring, great potential for rain at Red Bull Ring. Then we got Deep Forest, got Kyoto, which again, potential for rain at Kyoto, and then we finish off the season with Interlagos. So all of these tracks are racing tracks. I mean, this is a great schedule this season, straight up. Like the Nordschleife ATB, or because I'm pretty sure they already have the GP. So are we talking Nordschleife? Is the Nordschleife coming to ACC? Oh my goodness! Oh yeah, no Nordschleife on ACC. Oh, I'm in. Where do I sign up? Let's go. That's epic right there. That is epic. Nordschleife on ACC with that physics model over there. Oh, and those new race cars. Oh, it's a dream come true. Why you gotta tease me like that, bro? Why you gotta tease me like that? You know, at the Nordschleife, you know, dreams come true sometimes. What can we say, right? I've always said, man, we need the dang Nordschleife on ACC for as long as I've been involved with it, man. And oh, yeah. And spice up the grid size, make it like 40 or 50 because it's such a big track. Oh, let's go. That'd be so great. Can you imagine 50 GT3 players on Nordschleife on ACC? Oh my. Yeah, I would need a moment alone by myself. Maybe. Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. That's gonna be that's gonna make for some fun. That is gonna make for some fun. Yeah, without a question. We need Silverstones, and we need the Kylamis, and we need those tracks, Alton Park and all that in GT7 now too, man. We need some classics back too. Need some of the old school PD tracks back too. I'm sure we'll probably see stuff like that in the future, but you know, we're just never satisfied as consumers, I suppose, at the same time. So we just always want more. But we just want to race. If we got more, then we got more to race on, man. You know, it was nice to see the new GT3 RS come into the game, I'm not going to lie. You know, that's a very extremely updated car, road car, obviously, but, you know, my big question is when are the updated GT cars coming, and why are they not there yet? That's my big confusion. Well, it's not just the Corvette and Mustang, the Ferrari, the Porsche, the McLaren. You know, the Audi's updated, so I mean, we do have an updated Audi. We've got an updated Mercedes. We could use some updated BMW machinery as well. You know, the Supra's fairly updated, but not currently running in GT3 class. There is still Supra's running in GT4 class in the IMSA series. There was one running this season, but you know, it's a car that seems to be fading out. I think the Camaro's done this year as well. I think they're bringing a different car back. I think the Camaros are going to the GT4 Corvettes. I think GT4 Corvettes are coming back as well. So, you know, real racing is constantly evolving. And I understand that it takes a lot of time to map these cars and go through the process to get them in the game. I totally understand that. But, you know, they've been developing the game for 8 years, and the cars have updated since GT Sport even. So I don't understand why they kind of dropped the ball, I guess, is for lack of a better way to put it, on updated race cars on game release. Well, I know licensing is a big part of it, but I mean, clearly they have the licensing already to the race cars because they have their older versions in there. So it's the process of how they map the cars out. You know, it's a very meticulous process. They take them, they test them, they run them on tracks. You know, there's a lot of parts to the process to get one of these cars into the game, and I mean, it's not just the race cars, it's every car that gets put into the game goes through the same rigorous process, right? So I think that's maybe more what it comes down to, is just time, the time it takes to get the car into the game, built into the game, coded into the game, and then make sure that it runs like it's quote unquote spec'd to run so in real life, and in the situation you've got it in, right? I've watched a lot of content on how they develop the cars and the tracks for the game, and you know, it is quite time invasive, so I do understand why it takes long, but my big confusion is, why not have some of these things at game release? That's the part that confused me. And then, you know, now we're getting in to be 2 years old here pretty soon, and we still don't really have any of them, right? But I mean, we're getting last year's SEMA winner cars and stuff like that, right? So it gets a little bit frustrating, I guess, as a racer, not necessarily a single player enthusiast of the game. I used to be a single player enthusiast, not so much anymore. I'm more about the online multiplayer racing. It's more appeases me as for myself individually, anyways. You know, the single player part of the game is there for me just to keep earning money, so I can keep buying the race cars I need to race, right? I mean, really, that's where the appeal for single player is for me, just to make sure I've got enough credits on board to continue buying the race cars. Other than that, the single player has just not appealed to me anymore. I don't know. I don't know. I don't mind. You do what you gotta do. If you're ready to go, that is, we'll call it a night. You betcha. It is all good. Tis all good. I'm gonna sneeze just a second, chat. Oh. It's a teaser. It's a teaser. Well, you better go answer the call then, Ray. You better go answer the call. Alright, so 6 ain't bad. 6 to chase down ain't so bad. That's a pretty good number to have to chase down, in all honesty. You guys did good. You guys did good. You did good. Alright, you 6 missing registrants. We're coming for you. No, I'm kidding. Hey, we appreciate all the drivers that came in, took the time to come and take care of qualifying and during our scheduled time slots. Congratulations to all the drivers that come in and qualified. I believe results for the split allocations will be near the end of November, and then from there we get ready to go racing. So still lots of room left open. If you want to get involved, you want to get into the league, go ahead. Feel free to jump into the Discord server again. That is pinned in both YouTube channels, the Racing Asylum YouTube and my YouTube channel. You follow that link, it takes you right into Discord, into their server. Follow a couple quick steps. From there, if you get a little bit lost, it's a little overwhelming if you're not used to Discord. We understand. Just reach out, ask for a little bit of help in the general community chat, and one of the admins will step in and when they're available, and of course direct you in the right direction to get you guys involved. It doesn't matter if you're a brand new learning racer, if you're a skilled racer, you just want to come out, you enjoy this car, you enjoy the racing group, just come on out, hit that registration button, do the sign up process, and get yourself qualified before race weekend, and get yourself on track and have a little bit of fun with this great racing community here at Racing Asylum. So North America coming from Racing Asylum, branching out here, bringing it overseas, and this is going to be a great series. It's got a great track list, and I look forward to being the host, being behind the commentary booth for the season, bringing all the action to your living rooms as well. So, hello, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome from all around the world. We're getting ready to go racing in just it's about 3 weeks time here, so the hype will start building. We will get some BRZ open lobbies up maybe here in the next couple of weeks leading up into the series, and get these drivers in these cars and get them ripping around. Whoops. Jay needs his beauty sleep. Hey, no problem, Ray. Jay needs his beauty sleep. I got pizza coming. I got pizza already here. I just need to go eat it. So, I'm ahead of you, Jay. Take that. All right. Now that was a great qualifying run. Like I said, all the drivers that came out to qualify here today, all putting down really good times. It's really going to be a tight group of drivers, and there is a packed tight group of drivers as far as times go. So we still got a few drivers to qualify. Like I said, I'm sure we'll have new ones come in as we lead into the season, of course, as the season progresses. So it should be an interesting season here from Race Asylum. And again, this is sent down North America, and Apex Sim Racing team here. We're taking it on here down in North America. So huge love to Apex Sim Racing and Race Asylum. And again, I'll be your commentator for the series here at GT45 Gaming. So this will be live on our Facebook, our YouTube, and the Race Asylum YouTube channel when the season kicks off. We'll be out there for full exposure to make sure it gets into as many living rooms as possible so nobody misses the great racing action about to go down here. And we appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out with us during our qualifying runs. The drivers, again, great job out there. I know qualifying under pressure is tough. You know you're being live streamed. That gets to some of the drivers. But hey, all the drivers did a great job tonight. And, huge shout out to the administration staff, the officials behind the scenes, getting everything moving, getting ready into the season, leading in, getting those liveries approved, doing all that unglorified work behind the scenes. It takes an absolutely huge team to make this happen. So the volunteers are always the most appreciated in all this, and we thank you so much for your time, dedication, and ever so undying support to what we're doing. And I can't wait to see everybody on December 2nd for our opening round here at Watkins Glen, and I believe that's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Eastern time, pardon me, when these races start. So again, as things get decided and things get settled in, we'll start making some posts on the pages, get everybody up to date with what's been going on here at Racing Asylum North America, and we'll keep you all in the loop. But we appreciate everybody tuning in. And until the next one, really. You can't pin that on me. This community, all stars, every one of you. I tell you what, I really do appreciate all the great community we have here in the sim racing world. You guys are above all other communities, in my opinion. And I'm not the only content creator in the sim racing world that'll say that. So from me to you, we love you. Have yourselves a good evening. We'll talk to you all very, very soon. We got IRL ACC PS5 round 2 tomorrow evening at Mount Panorama. We're going to spend 90 minutes on the mountain. And, well, we all know that's going to be a doozy with 30 cars on the grid. So you definitely don't want to miss that. So until then, stay winning. Remember, you all matter. Our doors are always open if you need to talk, and we appreciate that support. Don't forget to like and share the stream if you haven't done so already. We appreciate it, and we'll be back tomorrow evening. Ciao for now.